I went to like the very first Olympic qualifier, and that was it. I never went back. I played my part. I didn't smoke weed for a month so that I could pass a drug test. I was writing for Weed Maps at the time, so I'm like under contract to like wear a Weed Maps shirt in like contests.
All right, we are back, huh? We're back at the 9 Club, everybody. Today we have a very special guest. Mr. Clay Kreiner is with us. How are you, dude?
I'm great, man.
Hey,
that was good to hear.
That was good
in person. Yeah, I was like, yeah, it's real. It's happening.
It felt good.
Yeah, that's awesome.
One thing though, I will say that that beard is like no other, man. I love, bro. How long did that?
Solid one.
If I could,
dude, it like. I just kind of leave it these days. It grows back too quick to even like attempt to maintain.
Seriously?
So I just kind of run it now.
If you cut that whole thing off and you started kind of like scruffy like me, what are we talking? A month or two? 2 months?
Probably not even. It'll be like
For
back
real?
to like this. Yeah, it grows so fast.
Really?
Yeah.
What did you use? Any like you put any like
No.
Any
you
product?
shampoo it, conditioner? What's going on?
Just for men?
Yeah.
No?
It's like, like literally it just happens. People
That's
ask that, like I'll see people with like super proper beards and they're like, oh, nice beard, bro. I'm just like,
Well,
dang.
people condition them. They put the beard cream in.
Yeah,
And they do. Like
They got a bunch of product for that.
Right.
All day.
It's a huge industry.
Yeah, it just kind of popped up overnight, and then it just
You woke up with it.
And
You're
then
like,
it's
hey.
now it's just kind of a pain in the ass.
It's a good one though. It's
It's already getting all caught in the mic.
You're good though. Thanks for coming, dude. This is going to be
dude.
incredible. First of all, big fan.
Cheers.
You, dude. I mean, just ever since you've kind of emerged on the scene, and just you do insane shit.
Oh,
No
thank
doubt
you,
about that.
The
Big fan of you guys. Well, right back at you.
I appreciate that,
Yeah,
bro.
stoked to be here.
Dude, we'll get into it all because you're from South Carolina originally.
Yeah, originally.
But first, there was a clip, dude, and I think it was in a Madness video. You used the thing like a Euro gap. And what did you do? Dude, it was gnarly on the mega ramp. You like Euroed up the mega.
Bob's place, yeah.
That was at Bob's.
Yeah, he's
Right
got
from
like
the side of it going up?
Yeah, he's got like this crazy step up Euro mega style thing. It's super fun though. Like
It's fun.
it's like
it looks
That thing is
scary.
no joke.
I mean, it's like as far as mega ramp skating goes, it's like a pretty mellow, fun obstacle.
It's
Yeah.
psycho though. For a non-mega ramp skater like that doesn't get more than 6 inches off the ground, like it's psycho. What part was that in though, Matt? I want to bring it up real quick.
I'm not
Was that
sure.
in the
I think
Madness?
I've had like a few
That was a
different
Madness
like
part.
Tricks on that.
tricks on that and like random like I had one in like a homie video me and the boys filmed.
Okay.
Maybe like some Madness or opera shit recently.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really know 100% where that clip's lurking. but
Okay. Well, if we could find it, JC will pull it up because it is. I mean,
I seen you guys have a chat about
Yeah.
about it on one of your episodes. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was hyped.
I mean,
Yeah. Thanks for
What
the
are
love,
those, what
boy.
are those sessions like, dude? Like, are there a bunch of you skating? Is it just one? Like,
It's like you're never solo. I mean, that's kind of a mish.
yeah.
Like,
Well, I mean, like, what is it? Solo as in like you and then a filmer, or like,
no, like I think that day it was like me and like some of the Brazilian homies, and maybe my boy CJ was over there with us. Like, I don't know. It's like some days it's like firing, and it's like you can round up a crew super easy, and then it's like dead for months. You know, like
yeah.
it's like you kind of got to be like in the mood to go session a mega ramp. You know,
But
like,
are you like planning out tricks as you go there, or kind of just freestyling it?
mostly just freestyling. Like
Really?
anything that I've filmed on that step up
Yeah.
has for sure just been like spur of the moment. I've actually never really filmed anything at Bob's that I was like, I'm going there today, like to do this.
but is
Like,
it just a session that pops off? Like when you're skating the Euro gap, like the huge. Is it just like who's sparking that? Like, are you just like, hey, let's set this up? I want to like.
that's like honestly like just the as goofy as it sounds, like the mellowest, easiest, like like I'm not really skating the mega ramp thing to do.
Yeah.
There, you know, it's like you can skate it with no pads. Like by the time you get to the top of it, like
Yeah.
you're not going that fast. You can just kind of run out of it, and as long as you make it up, you know, I guess.
Was that the scariest part? The first try, like
For sure. It's like it's way more intimidating even than the actual mega ramp, in my opinion. Like just the jump, because it just doesn't look like you're gonna make it up.
Yeah,
Like,
no,
it's like the weirdest feeling, like bombing down and like looking up at it. Like there's just no chance I'm getting up there.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's like the ramp's built to get you up there. So like if
Specifically
you
for
do
that.
what you're supposed to do, then you should end up on top. But
Yeah, we're trying to look for it, man. I mean, this was like we didn't have it like pulled or anything, but it's definitely in a Madness video.
I
It's
think,
just, it's on the side of the.
it may have
ramp.
been they just did like a opera team edit.
Oh, is it in
I
that?
think it's at the end of that.
Okay. Oh, maybe opera then.
Yeah, I think it was an opera thing.
But it's so fun to watch you guys, man.
Thank
And when you go, I don't know if a lot of people have had the opportunity to go to these mega ramps. Like when you see a mega ramp in person, even Elliott Sloan's, it's like it's huge, but it's still smaller than like the mega ramp.
Yeah.
It's gnarly. It's psychoed. Look at this. Look at this. This is the back
stance.
360.
wow,
Bro,
dude.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, you just gotta be like, dude,
Are
I'm making
you-
this.
It's like you're going up a full flight of like a story high.
Yeah, I don't know.
almost.
It's got to be like maybe 20 feet.
Dude, you're what?
Maybe
how
a
do
little
you-
bit less than that, 15 feet maybe. I don't know.
No pads, nothing. How do you bail that thing? Oh my god!
I'm telling you, by the time you get to the top of that, like, you got to imagine, like, if I don't land it, like, I'm not going that fast.
You're just
Right.
At
you
that-
can kind of just, like,
Yeah,
take
but
a
look
couple,
how small you
take
are.
a couple steps
You're
out of
an
it,
ant
you know?
on
in
there.
that still frame, you don't know what the fuck's going on right there. like, where are you going into the wall? And then you're like, oh, okay.
But that's what I'm saying, though. It's like, but those sessions must be fun because, like, I
Yeah.
mean, this isn't just like you're skating a ledge. This is like you're flying through the air. People are trying gnarly shit like this.
Yeah, it's super fun, man. Like I said, it's not often that you can round up a solid crew to, do it, but
Right.
when the time does come, it's a lot of fun getting together with all the homies. And I haven't actually been over to Bob's in quite some time. They're kind of fixing up their ramp right now. I know Bob's doing an event soon.
Dope.
But I mean, that thing's aged a bit. It's been there for
It
quite
does
some
look
time.
a
and
little.
Dude.
it's
it
a
does
little,
look a little
little
worn
danger
down.
zone. One of my boys recently like split his knee open pretty good, just catching a screw.
Oh,
sticking out,
man.
like
That's
just
wor-
like yeah, kind of.
that's worst case scenario.
Yeah.
Right? Like catching
I
a
mean,
screw that's
minus
popped
like
up.
I guess
Gnarly, bro.
Jakey just flying
Oh,
to
but
the
yeah,
bottom
but-
or something,
yeah.
But,
But I mean, for the normal vert / mega ramp skater, like a nail sticking out is
yeah,
devastating.
And it's like there's so many. You know what I mean?
Thousands.
Like there's so many screws in that ramp.
Yeah.
That
Who
it's
goes
kind of
through
bound
and
to
checks them?
happen. And like.
Before I skated, I would be on my hands and knees going through each one.
Yeah,
looking
like
at every
one of the homies, Bruno, is like helped take care of the ramp for years. Like a lot of the boys just kind of like, help try and play their part
Okay.
The team
when they
effort.
can. Bob's in town now, but he's been spending a lot of time in Brazil the last couple years. And when I first moved out here, we were like, honestly, skating Bob's like an unreal amount. Like he was in town and it was like daily almost. We were just like sessioning the mega ramps. Kind of like funny to think about, like looking back on it, like because
With
I
Bob,
haven't,
or does
I
he-
haven't skated like the full size mega ramp and I don't even know,
Because his is
ages.
full size, right?
Yeah,
Elliott's is like it's smaller, but it's still massive though.
it's still
like-
big, but it's
a
like when
mini
you
version.
if you could just like drive to Bob's, look at it, and then just drive straight over to Elliott's, you're like, okay, this is a mini one.
Yeah.
Like it's
Would you consider Woodward PA's mini mega to be kind of like closer to Elliott Sloan's?
yeah, it's like
Okay.
super similar. I mean, obviously, like there's small differences in just like the transition on the launch ramps, and there's an actual
Sure.
gap. The one at Woodward PA is like the whole deck's filled in, so you can't really fall into the gap, and but it's like super similar as far as like the size of the quarter pipes and the gap sizes and
Right.
all that. Yeah,
Yeah, that was when Lizzie fell into that gap.
Dude.
That was
so gnarly.
that was
super
gnarly.
Like, and I I swear, like, me and all the homies have talked about it, whereas, like, I just never imagined that to be, like, possible almost. You know, like, I've seen a lot of people come there, encouraged a lot of people to do it for their first time. And it's like, for ages, I can remember, like, telling people, like, dude, if you do it, like, you're going to make it over the gap. Like, I'm not saying you're going to land it first try, but, like, the ramp's built to get you over it. Like, you're gonna go over it, whether it's a knee slide or whatever. Like, you're gonna get over it. And then that happened, and I was like, all right, like, maybe I shouldn't have been telling everybody
Kind of
all
changes
the
your,
time.
changes
Like,
your.
oh, you're gonna make it, no problem.
But
You know,
the
like,
thing is like, it just goes to show it could happen to anybody. Lizzie's
it could.
a professional.
She's like
dropped
so
in
capable of doing it for sure.
more
you
than
know,
capable.
Like,
She's dropped in so many. You
yeah,
don't think
it would have been.
about
She would have been the last person that I would have even mentioned that to be
Right.
honest. But like, Elliot's is pretty quick, the transition, and
Oh, interesting.
like, it makes sense. I've seen one of our good friends, Jed, from Australia, super gnarly cat. Very, you know, like, he could definitely do it as well. I'd never once like even stressed him trying it or whatever, but almost did the exact same thing. Just, you're going so quick and the transition's so tight that it just kind of buckled his legs, and he's kind of the exact same thing. He just skimmed right over it, like legs buckled, and it tossed him forward, kind of like Lizzie did, but he just ended up a little bit luckier than she did.
He cleared the gap.
Yeah, and there's been a couple people not make the gap even at Bob's and stuff.
Really?
Yeah, one of my good friends, Leo, like, looped out his first time and essentially like half backflipped and then smacked the wall.
Oh my!
Like, it's just like a wall before you.
Dude.
Yeah, like, busted him up. He still skates mega to this day, rips.
Good.
Super gnarly.
Easy,
But yeah, first go wasn't the one.
Wow.
It just kind of, you got to be in the right frame of mind to skate these things, right?
Yeah,
You can't- can you sometimes I don't feel like skating, but I go out there, I'm kind of having a bad day, I'm struggling to, like, you know, like, put some shit together.
Yeah,
Can you really
it's-
half-ass it like that? You kind of...
You don't wanna. I mean, that's like where
Yeah,
you're
of
gonna.
course.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely one of those things where it's like, all right, we're going to Bob's today. Like, you probably knew a couple days in advance or
Okay.
something. You know, it's not like hop out of the van. Oh, what park are we at? Cool. I'm stoked to get the legs moving.
Right.
Like, you don't want to be like that showing up to a mega ramp.
We're at
Yeah,
Bob's
like,
today. Oh, okay,
oh, cool.
yeah.
It's just a mega ramp? Yeah, it's normally like a bit more of a planned thing. Like, all right, cool. We're doing a mega day or whatever. Elliot's is like, in all reality, that one's a lot of fun to like go in session and like actually skate.
Oh, yeah.
The mega ramp is like, in my opinion, it's more of like the thrill, like just hauling ass, going high, and
You still get an
like,
adrenaline rush?
yeah, but like Elliot's is like fun to like go and try and push yourself, learn something new. Like Bob's just like,
Serious?
hang on and just make whatever, like, I'll take what I can get.
You
What-
gotta be mentally prepared for that.
What is
Yeah.
it like? So, like, do you have to hit these dudes up all the time to come skate the ramp, or like, do you guys just like have access to their backyards at all time?
Just bug the shit out of the homies.
Yeah, I was gonna- that's got to be
Pretty
kind
much,
of annoying,
man. It's
right?
like, I like, kudos to Elliot and Bob and all the dudes that have let myself and all the fried ass homies come over for the past, like, you know, however many years, and like have to, you know, deal with who knows how many texts a day from not only like the good homies but randoms that want to come and give the mega a go. You know, it's like, much respect to those dudes.
Is it like a certain time, like, hey, we do it like Tuesdays and Thursdays, or just like all time?
I mean, I just feel all the homies are on their own schedule, so it's like,
Well, I mean,
normally
like,
just
for
tapping
him,
in with him and just
Yeah.
being like, "Yo, you skating today?" If he's skating, like, cool. Mind if I swing by?
Well, he could be on a
And-
trip, too. He's got other things
Yeah,
going on as well.
But he's like been such a gangster about letting the homies come, and you know, like, I've spent an insane amount of time over at Elliot's, you know, and so shout out to him and Tabitha, all the pups. Love you guys.
We're looking at footage right now. This is Elliot's ramp right here.
Yeah.
And how do you even know where your landing is? Look, I mean, you're spinning. how do you not, like? How do you not get dizzy? How do you? I mean, obviously you're spinning so many times, you're used to it, and you can spot the landing. But
That one was kind of like a bit of a one-off. Like, I've only really ever done like a couple 900s in my life.
Okay.
I was never like the kid that had them dialed at all. Like, this is probably the third one I ever did. And I always wanted to do an alley-oop one like this, but the ones before, I was doing them just like straight up and down, and I was doing them mute, and it was just like a Hail Mary. Like, I was seriously, both times I ever did it, I just like ate shit for 3 hours until one of them worked.
Was the first one at Woodward? Did you do that one?
Yeah, when I was a little grom, I don't know, 16 or 17.
But you have more air time, right? On
Yeah,
those ramps.
like
So
for
it's not
sure.
like a
So that
normal vert.
like helps. But like the first, I did one at the Mini Mega at Woodward, and then one at Bob's as
Okay.
well. But they were both just like such a battle, like just ramp. You know, like I didn't know. Like, I'm not like, if you watch some of the other vert skater homies, like if you watch like Mitchie,
Yeah.
it's like a gymnast on a skateboard. Like his spin technique, I'm just like wind up and huck that shit and hope that it comes around, you know. And like that's kind of how my first 900s were. It was like just literally smoking my shit for hours until like one just happened to work.
You gotta
but
get a
this
feel
one,
for it,
man,
though,
I was
right?
like, I went and just like randomly tried a couple one day, and I was like, it's a different grab. I'm doing like a melon grab versus like the ones in the past were mute, and I think that's probably what like changed it all. But I was like, man, I can see what I'm doing.
Just by changing
Like
the grab.
Yeah, like the grab's you're a bit more open, you know. Like a mute grab, your face is all in your chest, and like, I don't know. And I was like, man, this actually makes sense. So I called up some of the homies, like, yo, I really want to go film this shit. And it was like maybe 8 or 10 tries, like
I wouldn't even
that day that it worked, because I was like, actually felt confident in like putting it down and being like, oh, like I bailed a couple that were like, why did I even bail that? Like should have just stood up. Like I was staring at the ramp. Why did I throw that away? And so that one like worked out, and I was like, man, I just blew it for so long, like just destroying myself doing this stupid mute 900. Like that was so unnecessary. I was like, if I'd have just tried one melon, I'm sure like it would have all clicked.
Why didn't
But
you
let
just
me
try?
ask you-
Why did melon come later then?
But is the mute like a
'Cause-
normal? Is that how everybody does the 900? Is mute grab? Like, or
I mean,
I didn't even
that's-
realize there were different grabs. For
That's
the
like
900.
how like the first 9, you know, that Tony did was mute.
Okay.
And
standard issue maybe.
it's just like, I think I learned mute 540s first before any other grab, and like it's just like the way you wind up and spin, it's just like kind of there, like it's the easiest to grab.
Interesting.
And so it was just like that made the most sense for me.
Did the
But I would do alley-oop 5s, but only melon. And so that's where I hit like this weird like mental block, where I'm like, well, if I want to do alley-oop 9, like it's gonna have to be melon. But I was like, I don't know if I might just get stuck in the spin and get lost. Like, like, so it's like super stressful, like to go for like the first one. And then I swear, like I said, after the one try, I was like, dude, all these slams I took, like doing these blind 900s, like just might as well have had my eyes closed. Like, why did I do this? Like,
you landed
melon
it.
made so much more sense.
You landed it perfect.
So the alley-oop approach felt easier.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
and
And the
you know, in
melon.
my head, it was like, I don't know. I just was like, always wanted to check that one off. Nobody at the time had done an alley-oop 9. And I was like, ever since I was a grom, I always loved doing alley-oop 5s. And so I was like, man, I like got to do an alley-oop 9 at some point. And now like kids are doing them like back to back, to back,
Well,
to back, to back, to back.
But they're smaller,
You know?
right? There's more. It's like it's like a little ball they can get into.
Yeah,
right?
but I mean, it's
we're
like-
tall grown men, right? It's
Compact.
hard to like.
For sure.
It's harder to spin. No?
Yeah, but either way, you know, it's like I wasn't doing that shit when I was 9, like some of these kids are. You know,
crazy,
like
bro.
I trip on some of the young kids. I'm like, how do you like? What is this regimen that they're on, or how are you training them? Like, I was like wearing like sweatpants with my knee pads over the top, doing like early grab Christairs flyouts onto the deck at this age, you know, like literally running and like acid dropping down an 8 stair. Like that's what I thought was dope. You know, I'm like, how do these kids even comprehend a 900? Like I was doing the corniest shit when I was that age, you know. Like,
How old were you right here?
Probably 16. See, this is what I'm saying. I was just eating shit until one worked, and the one that worked, like you can tell, like I'm like halfway up the other side of the ramp, and before I'm like, oh, cool. I'm rolling away actually.
Yeah, this is at the Woodward PA.
Goodness.
Broke my leg trying 900s like before I ever made one. Yeah,
Really?
I landed on the deck at the mega ramp at Woodward West.
No.
Yeah, just right on the coping. Classic.
Like a bad snap or like just like a fracture? No, really?
Yeah.
There you go.
That seemed like it was like slow mo right there. The way you got around, but it got around.
Me and one of the filmer dudes, like I spent a lot of time growing up at Woodward, and so I spent a lot of time with like digital media crew because campers would come in for a week and then bounce, and I would be there like all summer.
Right.
So I made some homies that were like working there, and like this whole process, we like had this goofy saying like huck and tuck.
That was
because literally that's what I was doing. Like there was zero like strategic approach to it. It was just like, all right, today's the day.
Just go for it.
Yeah, and I remember like one of the counselors at the time like gave me shit and was like, just called me out on like never making a 900, I think. Wow. And I was all, fuck you, bro. I'm doing that today. It's like, it was literally probably on like the back of the golf cart. Like, take me to my cabin. I'm getting my knee pads now. You know, like, I'm gonna show you.
Like he could do them either. You know?
Yeah, it's like, hey, but he lit the fire. You know.
Hey, sometimes you need that.
Yeah.
Definitely helped.
Yeah. Would you take that approach to like all your skating, or just that the huck factor? Like, do you just
that
try
is like
shit to
literally my skating in a nutshell.
Yeah.
Is just like fucking cross your fingers and. I was never like super technical with skating, you know, like some of like my friends are just like super structured, like analytical, like it's pretty crazy, you know, like how some people break down skateboarding.
Totally.
And I'm just like, man, just fucking send it.
Send it.
Yeah. You know, I don't know.
Like
Jamie, only one way to find out.
Like
you know?
Jamie Foy is like super calculated.
Yeah.
He doesn't take any. He's like he takes calculated risks.
Yeah. And if like Mitchie, like I kind of brought him up earlier, but
Mitchie Brusco.
Like if you watch the clip of him doing the 1260, which is like still to this day in like makes zero sense at all, but he does it like so perfect, like spots his landing and like he's all tucked up in a ball, like his spin is like immaculate, like it's perfect. And then you watch me do like a 9, is like a whole 360 less, like my arms are flailing, I'm like lost, you know, like this is insane.
Oh wow.
It looks fake.
Wow.
But you could actually see him spot the landing.
Look at his reaction. There's nothing on his face.
Let the clip roll. I love him enough, so I'll give him some shit on this. But like he comes down, I'm tripping, dude. I'm like losing my fucking head, and I come out to hugging him, and he's just like he like pushes me.
He pushes you away.
It's classic.
No.
It is so funny.
He's like, oh, cool. Is he like even happy?
Dude, I think he was maybe like going through some weird shit at the time, and it was just like, I don't know. I think he just like almost maybe did that for other people.
Did push you a
you
little.
know?
Was that
or something like he was just like,
has he been? Is that the first time he ever landed it?
yeah.
Okay, so he did it live in front of everyone. That's probably like a big.
Wow.
Dude, he only tried the trick 5 times ever.
Really?
Oh no way!
Yeah, he tried like 2 in China, 1 year at X Games, and then 3rd try at this X Games.
Third try.
That's amazing.
Like
That's unbelievable.
insane, dude. My whole like I said, the whole 360 lesson, my 900 process was like years. A broken leg, you know, like I had to battle that shit. But he does a 1260 in 5 tries.
It's interesting because like what you said, like he's very calculated, and you can actually see him after all those spins.
Yeah, right here, like he's
already
he
looking
knows,
for the
like,
landing.
okay, this is where I'm gonna land and everything.
He's not even. I mean, he's already landed it before he landed it.
And man, like I've I've like said this to people before, but I could, and I say this pretty confidently, like I could very well die before another grown man does a 1260 like that. Like
Seriously.
Right.
Maybe one of these little Groms that's like tiny and just a little fidget spinner type shit, you know, like maybe one of them, like, but they better do it quick before they grow up.
Yeah.
You know, like for him at his size and everything to do that is like unreal.
really
And
It's also
he wasn't really skating at the time. I lived with him for a while. He wasn't really skating much, which was
Really?
insane. Like he was just like cruising, playing video games for a minute. Like, and I didn't see him for like months. I lived in the same house with him, you know? And then we were like in the car one day and he's like, oh, X Games is coming up. Like, oh, well, like, I guess if I like put in this many hours, like had this like specific number, like I'll be ready to go by then. And I'm like in the front seat. He's behind me. I'm just like buddy's tripping, you know? And then shows up and does a 1260.
That was the one that he did it
jeez,
at.
yeah.
Yeah, like he's a freak of nature. Like
Crazy.
one of the most talented skateboarders ever, in my opinion. Like he
does,
just like it just clicks.
He does a
for
bunch
him,
of
you know?
like trainings, like
Yeah,
lesson
he's
stuff?
been doing this thing, Skate IQ.
Skate IQ.
Where he's been traveling a ton and doing like coaching a bunch
but he puts YouTube
but he's
videos
like the
out.
perfect guy for it because like dude, he'll start breaking down a trick for you, you know, like even if you're trying, he's like, oh, this and that. I'm like, he just thinks of skateboarding like I said, I'm a very like just hope for the best type of guy, but he like breaks it down to like the smallest like foot placement and your shoulders and this and that, and he's like the perfect guy to be
Sometimes-
a coach.
I'll
If
watch
that's-
his YouTube videos.
Dude, I'll
And-
watch him and it's like how to kick turn.
Yeah.
I sit there and watch the whole thing. Like, damn, dude, I never thought of a kick turn like that.
And I'm watching it too. I'm like, I almost believe I could do it. You know, like he's that good
Yeah.
at like explaining.
Me and all my boys like have a joke. Like, I'll never forget it. He's like, he was doing switch 540s and we were just tripping on it. Like, damn, dude. And he's like, oh yeah, switch 540s. I'll get you on that shit. I'm like, thanks, but no, dude. Like you can't. Like
You
I'm
can't
not
teach
like
people that, yeah.
I'm not the guy. Like I'm gonna get lost in the air. Like, but he is the guy for it, man. And shout out to Mitchie. Shout out to Skate IQ.
Yeah,
I love
that's
seeing
good stuff.
what he's doing, man.
Cool stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Great human.
I wanted to go back a little bit because we talked about the growing up in South Carolina, but you moved down to Vista when you were how old?
End of 2015, right
Was
when
it?
I graduated high school. Mama Bear was like, "No, you're finishing normal school." You know, I was like, I was a little shit grom. Was like, "Oh, I want to move to California." Like, says who? Like, my broke ass. I wasn't making no money. Like, oh yeah,
Right.
who's sending you to California? You know, like what? But in my head, you know, like I want to go. I was like watching all these groms and stuff growing up that I was like, well, they're there, you know, I want to be there. And my mom was like, nah, like you're going to school and
This
you're
is-
going to finish normal high school, no online bullshit, none of that, you know?
Wait, is this
This
you?
is you?
Yeah.
What?
Look at you,
Y'all
bro.
digging deep. Oh,
Oh,
God.
Dude, you got the S's on right there.
Hell yeah, dude. That's like all I ran, dude, when I was young.
It's hard.
You can find
S's for
anything
sure.
on YouTube, man. But so this is you. So you started skating at a very young age.
I got a board for my 8th birthday.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Sick.
This is what I'm talking about, dude. Like, look at that shit. What was that? Knee pads over the sweatpants, doing like a coping grab to fakie. Like now,
But you're
kids
a
are
little-
doing like
yeah,
back-to-back
yeah, yeah.
900s. That was
Coping,
what I was on when
right.
I was 9. You know, like
Yeah, but you know,
Is this the park you grew up skating at?
some of it. Like this is down in Atlanta. I would like take some. This is like the park I really grew up skating at a super young age, and then another park opened up. It was called No Name Skate Park,
okay.
but it was like incredible, man. Like 40,000
Oh,
square foot.
what are you doing?
Oh, you folded.
What
Dude,
was that?
I'm telling you, man. I don't think too much when I'm on a skateboard.
You just
Bro, you-
rolled off the roof.
Clearly.
Basically,
Blew
like,
it out right there.
oh my god.
My mom still gives my dad shit. My dad's filming this.
Oh, this is a dad cam?
Yeah, my mom still to this day is like,
Bro.
you dumbass, letting him jump off the roof. You know?
He's like, hell yeah, go for it, son.
Yeah, he's like, hey, if he told me he's got it, I just believe him.
Bro, you're a ball. You're like Metroid right there. Like, you're a little ball.
So
Like,
smoked.
what the hell? That's
so
crazy.
smoked. Never went back for that one.
Never mind. I
You should try to go back, dude.
understand why.
That was actually behind the local skate shop at the time. It was pretty short lived, but yeah, I don't know. Like somebody probably pointed out to me, maybe the shop owner. You know, it's like, oh, there's a sick drop. The railing's gone. You know, and I was like, yeah. I used to love when I was a kid, like just finding the biggest shit and ollieing off it. Like
Is that
I would
why-
just like ollie off like 9-foot quarter pipes for no fucking reason.
Is that
Like,
why you got into vert? Just the flying aspect of it?
I think, man, like when you're a kid, there's like no classifications on skating. You know, I was just like a chicken with my head cut off at the skate park. You know, just like I just wanted to do everything and skate everything. And yeah, I think like the idea of doing airs was pretty sick to me. And then like one of my local parks like that opened up had a vert ramp, and it was just kind of like the natural like Grom progression of like, I'm gonna drop in on the vert ramp, and then like, oh, I wonder if I can air it, rock to fakey it, you know. And then I just kind of like fell in love with skating vert and doing airs. I was always just a little air guy.
Little air, yeah.
Were you
hucking it?
What was your like inspiration? Were you watching videos and looking at magazines, or were you just kind of doing whatever was in front of you?
At a super young age, just like the local homies, but nobody really skated vert. I would skate solo.
But how you just learned it on your own, not watching videos or anything? Did you
No, there was like, I mean, I always loved like all of Jake Brown's old footage, like Jake, Danny, Colin, Bob, like that whole era of vert skating is like still to this day like pretty untouched. Like nobody's doing that shit, you know. Like
true.
those dudes are the greatest, you know. And so I'd watch like a lot of that. And
But like via YouTube type shit? Or
yeah, like, but I also like I watched a bunch of random shit, you know. I wasn't like
Looks like
I
you're
wasn't
skating
like
everything.
super in the know,
Yeah.
you know. Like as a young kid, I was watching like things that were pretty relatable to me. So I would watch like Tom Shar videos when he's technically like younger than me,
Right.
but I was like looking up to him as like a 11-year-old or so. Like, damn, like this kid's ripping, you know. And I would watch a lot of that at a young age. Like my first real skate video was Animal Chin.
Damn, really?
dope.
Yeah,
That's-
super random.
You
That is
you
random.
went back that far.
Yeah, I went to like a trade show, Eastern Skateboard Supply.
Yeah, okay.
Shout out Reggie. And, yeah.
Shout out.
Yeah, so I went to like a trade
crazy.
show when I was like 9, and Stacy Peralta was there at the like Powell Bones booth. You know, it gave me like some stickers and some wheels, and I was just tripping, and they gave me the like a hard copy disc of Animal Chin, and that is like the first full length film like
Wow.
that I watched.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
What'd you think of it?
Sick. Like I also didn't really have anything to compare it to at the
Right,
time, so it wasn't like, what is this movie thing or
It
like
was a movie,
whatever.
yeah.
Yeah,
it was
you
a
know, but I was
production,
just
yeah.
like, damn, this is awesome. And a lot of really good vert skating in that film, so it was like, yeah, a lot of inspiration from that. And then I would watch random shit, man. Like I was like a big Shaq Daddy fan when I was like around, you know, like almost round 3, you know, like I've probably seen that video fucking 100,000 times. You know, like,
Did you get into the like mega ramp when you moved out here?
no, like
They had one back east. Oh, Woodward.
so like I said, I spent a lot of time at Woodward.
Gotcha. Makes sense.
I like weird random story, but I went for like 2 years, you know, to save up all my Christmas money and birthday money, and then
expensive, dude,
split
for a
it.
little
I'd like
kid.
split it with my parents, you know, and then so I went for like 2 years, and then family couldn't really make ends meet for like 2 years, so I didn't go, and then just randomly kind of bumped into Gary Ream, who was the owner of Woodward at the time, and I'm not sure how the hell he figured it out, but knew that like I didn't come due to like money issues essentially. And I was like 12. I did this contest called Gatorade Free Flow Tour,
okay.
and so I won that and got to skate in like the Do Tour with all the pros, and I was like 12. and he was there and like just came up to me in like the village, you know, where like the whack-a-mole and shit's at, you know, like I didn't know who the guy was either at the time. And he's like, oh, I'm Gary. Like, I actually like own Woodward, you know, and I was like a 12-year-old, I was just mind blown, you know, and he's like, yeah, I heard, you know, like you couldn't really make it out this past summer. Blah, blah. I was like, that'll never be an issue again. Here's my phone number. Call me.
No.
And like, so that summer I called him.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, I'd love to come hang out. And I was like, I signed up for 2 weeks, you know, it was like, whoa.
I'm getting this for free, baby.
I'm going
on
I was
all
like,
summer.
dude, I'm doing 2 weeks, you know?
Wow.
And so I went for like those 2 weeks, and he was just like, he would like kind of check in on me, you know? He's like, oh, you having fun? Cool. Like, just stay then if you want. I was like, yeah. He's like, yeah, just go talk to the housing people and see if they got a spot for you. Okay. Like, yeah, they're like, yeah, there's an empty bunk. I'm like, cool. I'll stay another week. And then I was like, I'll stay another week. I'll stay another week. And for like 4 or 5 years, I literally would like get out of school, drive to Woodward with my pops, spend the whole summer there, and then like get back the day before school started again.
Wow,
yeah.
dude.
And
That is
there was like an era
crazy.
too where like all the local parks had closed down, and so I wasn't hardly skating throughout the year. So I would just go over the summer and just like
Just go crazy.
get it all out of the
Make up
system.
a list.
Yeah.
That's a hey,
And
shout out to Gary
they
for
just
that.
built, like much love to Gary. Like I seriously tell people this all the time. It's like those dudes really helped like shape my skateboarding and my
Straight up.
career.
Well, they had
you
everything.
know, like
Straight
up,
it
bro.
turned me into like a mega kid kind of as well. You know, because they had just built the mini mega there.
Okay.
Like right when this whole hookup thing kind of started, and for like 2 years they weren't even letting campers skate it. Like they built it and they're like, well, only staff, and then like me and one other kid. So I would just like be me and this kid Dave, and we would just skate it like sun up to sundown solo. And yeah, so I just like, it's like all I would skate, you know, that and then Cloud 9, you know, the vert ramp was like real close by, and like they had like the resi and the foam pits and shit. So I'd just be like trying random stuff, you know, like just bouncing back and forth. Like
Basically lived in like every skater's dream.
yeah,
It's
man, I like
Woodward
so
PA
blessed,
is
so blessed.
massive.
Yeah.
And for a little, it's massive to me. I'm a grown man.
Yeah.
But like
Yeah.
to a little kid, it must have been this world.
And like over time, man, it became
Crazy.
like such a like family, you know, like I was there all summer and I just like
Same
would be
people,
coming back, and
yeah.
all the same, you know, like staff would be there, and a lot of the like, man, like some of the like sickest fools in skating right now, like fucking, maybe I'm throwing them under the bus, maybe they're trying to lay low, but like John Shanahan and shit was like my counselor and shit at one
Sick.
point.
Oh, wow.
you know? Like John Gardner was my counselor at one point when I was at Grom. Like,
Wow.
dude, I had really sick people surrounding me as well. You know, there was a lot of insane skateboarding happening, you know? And I feel like maybe, like, I haven't been back in ages, and so maybe I'm
You
making
should
shit up,
go.
but I feel like that era kind of died out, and it's like definitely more on like summer camp vibes these days. But like, there was a time, man, where like, there was a lot of gnarly heads at Woodward, man. It was like you're just surrounded by incredible skateboarding,
You talking
and
about
like
the
the
vis-
best places to do it as well.
You're
you
talking
know?
about the visiting pros or just the people that work there?
Even like
and,
dudes like working there for
Right.
scraps, dude. Like dudes aren't getting paid shit, and they're just like the gnarliest fools. You know, like I spent a lot of time. Like Jamie Foy was out there for like quite a bit of time, and like dude, just like you'd be really surprised. Like I said, they might be laying low. You know, like oh Woodward, never heard of that, but man, there's a lot of like the best skateboarders now that. They're little
think-
Woodward kids, man.
I think every-
You can't deny where your stomping grounds were. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
But throughout the history of Woodward, everybody's kind of met there. Like Jamie Foy's, like everybody
Yeah.
has met and formed bonds there. you
Yeah,
know?
for
like
sure.
With like counselors, and then this. You always hear
That's where I
stories.
met like
Yeah,
a
for
man,
sure.
like a lot of people that I like know and bump into out here in California. It's like if you really want to backtrack our relationship, it's like it was
Woodward.
Woodward, man.
Right.
Like, yeah.
So if you're out there in Woodward, you're doing your thing, you're going there every summer. Why make the move to California? I mean, it seems like this is the perfect
yeah, I mean,
place to like. You
it
know?
was cool and all, but it's like was obviously just like a summertime thing.
Okay.
And I don't know, it was like always the dream, the goal. Like to end up out here in California. I didn't really know shit about it, which is funny. You know, it was just like this fantasy land for a while.
You just kind of knew like it was.
But I just knew that like great skateboarders and great skate parks were there. So I was like, that's where I'm gonna be. You know, I'm gonna go there. I didn't even know what the hell town, you know, like to go to really. Like I was just like, as soon as I can pack shit up and go there, I'm going. So I drove across the country with my pops and like.
Did he drop you off like Woodward? And
dude, pretty much. Yeah, like literally was maybe in California for like a day just to help me take shit out of the car, and then was like, all right, I got to get home, bud.
Did you save up for your? How are you going to survive?
I had like a little bit of money from random contests and stuff, and then like the day I showed up in California, man, I went to Walmart and bought a button up and just started cruising around the town, like trying to find a job. Like, who will hire me? Like, I don't care what the work is. Like, I just need some bread.
You don't have any sponsors?
No, I wasn't getting paid a dime.
No, but like no hookups at all at this point, like boards.
I don't think so at the time.
Because you what? You were 17, 18?
Yeah, 18.
18?
Yeah.
What job did you get?
I worked at a pizza shop. Yeah, Project Pie. It's like the build your own style pizza, you know, like a Blaze pizza or something like that.
Wait, that's when you moved out here, I don't know the time frame for Bob's ramp and Elliot's ramp, but I would assume they were there already.
Yeah.
So you kind of moved in but you didn't know them, right? So it was kind of
I didn't really like. I had like crossed paths with them, like through random contests and stuff, but like once or twice over a span of like a couple years.
Okay.
Wasn't like we were homies or anything.
But you knew that they were there, like in Vista.
Yeah, and actually, I like just before I graduated, I came and stayed with Elliot for like a month. Like, he like for sure took me under his wing without really knowing jack shit about me. You know, it's just like I'd bump paths with him at the Gatorade Free Flow Tour kind of thing, and then I did like this contest in South Africa. They used to put like the old Maloof days. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they like set up a mega ramp out there, mini mega, and so like I just kind of seen him around a bit, like once or twice, and then like just reached out and was like, yo, I'm trying to get out to California for a bit. And he was like, yeah, I got some couch space, essentially. So I crashed with him for like a month, and then I actually like moved back to, I never really moved here, you know. It was like just stayed with him for a month, went back to South Carolina for the summer. Spent the summer at home, and then moved out here in like November of 2015.
So you already had your feet wet out here a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
You knew Elliot. You just had to get into Bob's ramp then.
And I'd come to like amateur combi contests, and then I would like make the trek down to San Diego, and like PLG would like take me to like the DC ramp and Tony's, and like
you start to make your rounds, right? You start to meet people.
Started to like meet some people, and like, but yeah, when I just kind of sent it when I moved out here. I lived with a biker for like the first month.
Like a Harley guy, or like
no,
a
like a BMX.
okay. Just wanted to make sure.
Pro BMXer, gotcha. Super gnarly fool. Vince Byron is his name, but it was pretty short lived. I was on a bit of a hell ride when I moved out here, so I got kicked out of that house in like the first month.
No,
damn.
Yeah, like threw a fat rager and.
What?
Yeah, like
really?
Like Cali life, dude.
Yeah, dude. Like 9 windows got smashed out of the house and shit.
You're a guest.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was short-lived guest, but yeah, I was not very welcome
That's
for
some
long.
Skate shit, man. You just come out here and just go nuts.
Dude, yeah. I had to
staying at this house.
I had to sell all my shit like just to pay for like windows, you know, like sold my laptop. I had like a whole camera set up. I loved like filming and stuff, and like was like, well, now I gotta buy new sliding glass door, and then, like, dude, it was pretty gnarly. And that's when I got super lucky and like moved in with Alex Perelson, like after that, and spent a couple years at his place. And like, shout out to Alex, man, best dude ever.
That was like a super nice house.
Yeah,
you said, like,
cool. super gangster spot, man. Like, so yeah, he owned a place in Vista, and I was just renting a room from him. Like, hooked me up with cheap rent and like saved my ass, you know, because I essentially got the boot within like a day.
Damn.
They're like, yeah, get the fuck out of here. Amazing. You know, I was like, okay, like,
that's amazing.
And so I was like gonna just like sleep in my car, packed up all my shit, and then the homies were like, like Sam Beckett was living with Perelson at the time, and he's like, dude, I'm out of town, like send Alex a text, and like you can crash in my room if it's cool with him. And so I just went and crashed for like a week. And then I went home for the holidays, went back to South Carolina, and I was just texting Alex like, hey man, like, thanks for letting me crash and everything, but like, I'm just going to be in South Carolina until I can kind of find a new spot to live. Like, let me know if a room does open up or something, if you're trying to rent another room. And he's all like, oh, like, I thought you already moved in.
Yeah, right.
And I was like, okay, yeah, sure. And he's like,
get
yeah,
back out there.
Yeah. And so like I, after the holidays, just came back and lived with Perelson for like 4 years or so.
What year was this, approximately?
2016 would have been
2016.
like, yeah,
Okay.
like, cause I moved out here at the very end of 2015 and
Okay.
shit hit the fan. And then, yeah, when I made my trek back in 2016, I was like kind of locked in it at Perelson's house.
Because in the next year or two, you're going to do X Games, you know, probably Combi contests and stuff like that.
That was all like pretty shortly after. Like I hadn't been in California too long, and I went to Sweden for like this vert contest, and that kind of like put me on the map. It kind of like saved my ass, you know, like
What contest was it?
Vert Attack.
Vert Attack. Okay.
Yeah, and so I went out there, and super random like era of my skateboarding, but I was skating a shitload of vert, and I was spending a lot of time with these Brazilian dudes, and like we were just kind of like partying, having fun, skating our asses off all the time. And I was super comfy skating vert, and for whatever reason, like they kind of like just talked me into like skating this vert contest with no pads. They're just like, dude, you're fucking doing everything that you do with your pads without them. Like, you should just like fucking show up and skate do the contest with no pads.
Were other people doing it with no pads?
No,
Or you,
maybe like
okay.
maybe Chris Russell or something at the time.
Chris Russell's gnarly.
Yeah, like-
yeah.
But no, everybody was padded up, and
Okay.
like I was padded up like the first day of practice or whatever when we first got out there,
Gotcha.
you know. And then I stopped skating, was like cruising the little street course they have, and then all the homies are just still skating vert. I was like, fuck. So I went back over to the vert ramp and just cruised around for a bit with like no pads, just to hang out with the homies and not be skating solo. And then that's when they were like, dude, like, you're doing everything pad. Like, why not just skate this contest padless?
Wow.
I was like, I don't. Okay,
Are
whatever.
they going to judge you higher based on you not wearing pads?
Well,
I don't
everybody's
know,
wearing
like-
pads is
You
like
can't-
gnarly to see. Like,
Oh, it is.
Yeah, it was
even-
super
If anything,
random.
it's just
like-
more dangerous.
Dude,
Obviously, like I don't.
even when I was at the Rockstar Energy Open, like, and all the bowls, I'm like, no pads. Like,
Yeah.
dude, it's buck.
It's
dude.
like, I don't know. It was
Like
just
knee
like a
sliding
weird.
out?
No.
It's like a super weird thing, but I like ended up winning the contest, and then people were like, "Who the fuck is this guy?" You know, like it was just a super
you kind
like,
of like made a statement almost.
yeah,
Not a
without
statement
even without even knowing it. But then
Yes.
it also,
Oh my
but then it
God.
also like stuck, and then people just like were like, "He's the padless guy," and I was like, "Not really, dude. Like I did one fucking contest. If you look at any other footage of me, I'm padded up for
Right,
sure.
right.
You know, it was just like I was so dialed at skating vert. Like that's the thing too, is people were like, "Oh, this dude's just got a death wish. Like he's a psychopath." But if you watched me skate vert at the time, like I could pretty much like go skate vert and not even use my knee pads.
Not
Like
even
I was,
use- yeah.
I was
You're
on it. You know, like still that was probably like the best I ever was at vert, kind of in that era. Like I was just like, so it wasn't crazy to me. You know, I was like, I'm not gonna fall.
Right.
Like I'm doing this shit every try. I'm not gonna fall. What's it matter? Like it's just the head thing. Like
Yeah.
like it's just the mind game of like, oh, I have no pads on. But it was like, well, if you were gonna make it every time anyways, like what does it really matter?
Were you sponsored at this point?
I rode for like a board company called Moonshine.
Okay.
It was like they were just putting on a bunch of like vert groms.
Ah.
I was just like getting boards from them. That was it.
How did Madness come into the play? Well, Madness, which
This.
is now Opera. That,
Literally this contest.
Bill Weiss
yeah,
saw you there.
Yeah, Weiss saw that and was like, "Who's the fucking psychopath?" You know, and reached out
Bill's
to
like,
me.
I like this
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah.
It's
you
almost
already
like
know.
even if you didn't win, just the fact you were doing that stuff with padless, it was like people were looking at you.
Yeah,
right?
just kind of like, you know, I hadn't been out here for more than probably 3 months or so at the time, and so I hadn't really been around the like ton of eyes in the industry or whatever, you know.
That's interesting too when some new person comes out, and again, your notepads,
Yeah.
like I said, making a statement before, but it's more like making an impression. Like,
Yeah.
people are like, who
Oh,
the
the above.
hell's this dude?
Yeah, so Weiss reached out to me like right after that. I don't know exactly who shared my contact or whatever, but thanks to them.
Yeah.
And was just kind of like, yo, I want to start something. I don't know what the hell it's going to be, but I want you to be a part of it.
Right.
And so I was like, sure. And just rode blank boards for, I don't know, quite some time. Before we had a name for a company, before we had the rest of the team built or any of that. He was just like, yeah, I want to do something with you.
That's right.
Like, would you be down to just ride blanks for now? I was like, shit, that sounds dope. Yeah, I'll ride some blanks. Yeah.
I love the fact that
But you
were
were
just down with it.
Obviously, you're not getting paid by them, but
I was actually, he started.
He paid you with no company.
He started paying me. And also at the time, you know, I was dead broke working at a pizza shop. So I was like, fuck yeah. Like, absolutely, you know, I'll ride these blanks. And then, yeah, over time, you know, just like, he was like, obviously wanted it to be like a tranny based kind of company.
Mm-hmm.
And so he was like, yeah, you and Perelson and Sam Beckett. And I was like living with the dudes at the time. And so I was like, oh, this sounds super
the homies.
easy. Like, yeah, these are just the boys. And so, yeah, just kind of like everything just fell into place from there with like the name and the rest of the team. And it was just like, at the time, it was like, I don't know, I was kind of stressed out in a weird way. It was like, I think as a kid, you always imagine like riding for like your dream company or
What
like
was your
what you
dream?
always like, dude, I don't even know. Like,
You must have had a company that you were like, this is.
well, like there's like companies that I love, but I'm also like a realist, you know. I'm not like ain't no way. Like I'd have been like, I would have fucking adored to ride for like Baker or some shit at the time, but it's like,
I could see you on.
come on,
Baker.
bud, you know, like,
Yeah.
and even if I was, I'd have just been like the novelty vert guy. Like, yeah, we have a vert skater. Yeah, like they would have just been like,
Oh.
yeah, we needed a vert skater, right? It's like I'd have never been in the van. You know, I would have never got to like be a part of the team.
You'd be on your own
Essentially,
shit.
yeah, I've just been on my own shit. Hey, like we're putting a video together. You got any clips? Like, wouldn't have been in the van getting clips with the homies.
Right. They're not stopping at
Yeah,
vert
like,
ramps and mega ramps.
no,
and, shit.
and
Yeah,
so-
I get you.
Like, looking back on it, it was probably like the best decision I ever made to just be like, yeah, let's do this with Weiss and everything. And that fool's got my back so tough. And like, I got to be a part of like a team. I got to be in the van and like do all the shit that I wanted to do.
Well, at least it wasn't random. At least, like you said, you were with the homies, and it already felt like,
Yeah,
this is a natural thing.
Yeah, it was super now. I felt literally at home. I lived with the guys,
Yeah.
you know? And so, yeah, just kind of like went from there. And like I said, looking back, you know, in hindsight, I'm like so glad that I didn't like try and like put my foot down and be like, no, I'm going to ride for this company and blah, blah, blah. Cause it had been like a cool claim, I guess, or something. But it's like, I'd way rather like be a part of something actually, you know. And I felt like, and I still feel like to this day that like I really get to be a part of the company with Weiss. And it's like, he's just done a ton for me. And
Weiss is the man.
yeah,
really
like
is.
that dude's got my back so tough, you know. And that's something else that like over time I started to realize with the industry and everything too, is like I'd way rather like ride for someone who like fucks with me as like a skateboarder and as a human being than like a billboard.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you're so disposable in this industry that like if somebody doesn't just really respect you and what you've done on a skateboard, they don't really give a shit.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's like
true.
you're just replaced with the next dude ripping. And it's like that fool, like if he has the means to do it, like he'll be supporting me when I'm fucking hunkered over doing scratch grinds, and that's it. Like he'll just because he like respects me as a skateboarder, and like I really couldn't have asked for anything better than that. And in itself, you know, minus like the company and all the other things that came along with it, just like having him in my corner was like the coolest thing for me,
for
you know, to like fully back me and not just be like, this kid's sick for the time being, and as soon as we don't think he's that sick later, you know, like
He's not that type of.
he's not that dude,
No, he's
you know,
not.
he's not that dude. Like he really rides for his homies, and that's like when the company, you know, when the whole madness shit happened, that's why I was like, dude, yeah, I'm fucking out of here too. Like they gave Weiss the boot over the phone.
Yeah, crazy,
I was
bro.
like, fuck these fools, man.
Yeah.
I'm out too. Like I'm going with him. Like, and we didn't have any plans to do anything, but I was
Yeah,
like,
but that would
I'm
again,
riding with Weiss, you know?
Dwindle's collapsing. He's doing it out of Dwindle.
He backed me when,
guys are in a
when
bit-
nobody did. And
Opera-
so I was like,
you guys
I'm
are in a
with you,
much
bro.
better place right now with Opera.
yeah, super stoked, man. And then like, just hype. It was kind of like the whole get the band back together type of feel. You know, like
crazy.
I kind of enjoyed the like this weird movement of people like that, you know, because I felt it like deep in my bones, like fuck these fools for that, you know, like to just give them the boot. Like this fool started this from scratch, you know, and then to see like the backing from everybody once it was like I was seeing it was super funny. It was like skate shops were like going out and putting madness boards like in a trash can out front, like, and selling them for as cheap as they possibly could.
Right.
You know, like obviously at least trying to make their money back, but they're like putting up funny signs and shit like,
Wow.
come clean out the trash. These gotta go.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, you know, it's really cool to see like the industry kind of like back it as well.
Well, it's a
And
shitty situation.
Yeah, it was like
dude.
shit for everyone. And but yeah, super stoked on everything we got going now.
Dude,
And
I mean, you guys with Sidewalk, and you guys, you know why? Because you got skateboarders running it.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah,
you know,
for
when you
sure.
start bringing in corpos and all this stuff and Dwindles exchanging hands multiple times, it's bound. It's doomed.
Yeah.
It's bound to like not do well.
And it's like, it's funny, you know, because I guess like it's like a funny thing to look at because you're like, well, isn't that kind of the goal in a weird way? Like when people start up a brand, it's like, aren't you kind of trying to make money?
Right.
And if somebody wants to buy out your company for a good price, like you're probably going to do it, you know, for the right
Depends,
price and the right, like who, depending on, you know, whatever. But then it's also like, but fuck these fools for that, you know? It's like,
You can't. Yeah. It's
like a weird like gray
It's a double-edged
area
sword.
in there, you know.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, but there's a line of respect too in the way that
Absolutely.
you approach it. I mean, if you fire somebody over the phone, I mean, you obviously don't have any respect for them.
yeah,
Right.
And sometimes you got to do what you got to do. But I think that being that company was around for so long, they should have had a face to face and had like a
Oh, 1,000%,
more of an
man.
understanding of why this is being done.
1,000%. I like, man, if I was Weiss, I'd been burning down the warehouse type shit. Like,
Yeah.
you know, like it's like, come
Well,
on. you
Weiss is a good dude. You know what's funny with you talking about like being a part of that team and everything? I had never even like thought about you in, you know, like a vert skater on a team, not being in the van or not being able to go on trips where they're just, you know what I mean? Like I never even like, it never even crossed my mind. I didn't even consider that.
that was like the biggest thing on my
Yeah.
mind, you know. It's like,
100%.
and I've always like loved skating everything.
You can.
Vert
yeah.
was just what clicked better and what I was able to compete at better and stuff. But, you know, I love skating everything. And so, like, it wasn't like I was just watching vert skating. And, you know, I was watching all types of skating and would have loved to even be in the van with fools. Like, even if I'm going to go sit on my ass at the spot, like, I'm a fan of skateboarding.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
I would have loved to, you know, I wanted to be a part of that. And like, and I'm also like, I shaped my skating in a way I feel like to be a competitive skateboarder. That's like not how I'm built, you know, like it's just like to make some money and keep things moving. Like I was doing contests and this and that, but I'm like much more of a like, go eat shit for 3 hours for the 3 seconds of glory type of guy. You know, I love the battle.
Yeah,
like
dude.
I adore the battle.
Right.
You know, like for whatever reason, like, and so yeah, I just like was always wanted to be a part of that and filming and you know out with the crew. But
Yeah.
I'm a realist. You know,
You could tell in,
It's like-
your skating though. You're like that type of skater. You're
yeah, I
like
mean,
just-
and that's where the like as a grum, like, it's where the joy comes from, you know, like learning a new trick. That's what, in my opinion, gets everyone hooked on this shit. It's like, and the idea of it's like, it's never ending,
Right.
you know, it's not a baseball game. Like, fucking you trying to hit a home run and we try and stop you, and then we switch sides and do it all over again. It's never ending, you know. It's like there's an infinite amount of things you can learn, an infinite amount of places you can go to skate, and like, yeah, just got like hooked on that high of like learning something new.
When you're talking about learning something new, and you're also talking about like contests, where you're talking about Mitchie Brusco doing that 1260, what was it? 1260, you know, in a contest. And, you know, when you did in the Combi Pool, like that gap over the thing, like, was that just spur of the moment too? Or was that like you trying to, like, had you tried that before? What was going on?
That was
right
just
then?
like a super random trip up to Combi, like with like the Brazilian homies. I
Really?
was spending a lot of time with those cats when I first moved out here. And like the Combi contest was coming up.
Okay.
So like people were making missions up there, and Mancha was doing like the Masters event and stuff. So he's like, oh, I'm trying to go, you know, get a couple laps in, like rounded up the boys. And I was like, yeah, I'll tag along. And in the car ride up, we just kind of got to chatting about it. Like Lincoln back in the day, I think tried in the square end.
Lincoln Ueda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we just got to like talking about this like fantasy gap thing. And I like skated for a while and then took my pads off and was skating the street course. And then it was kind of another one of those moments like I was saying earlier, like the homies were just still skating the Combi and I was just skating the street course by myself. And I was like, well, I guess I'm going back over there. And then it was like, oh, that gap we were talking about. Like, I wonder if like, so I was like, oh, see if there's even a line that I could have the speed or whatever. And then,
Oh, you had just talked about it before. It
yeah,
wasn't
like
even
just on the
a
car ride
attempt.
up.
Okay.
And then I just kind of was like, yeah, we'll see. And tried like one or two and was like, dude, like they weren't great attempts, but I was like, I think that it's doable.
Right.
But it took ages.
I mean, but still, look
Like-
at this,
Gnarly,
bro. I don't even know how big that gap is. It looks massive, like 20 feet or something. I don't know if you even know. But
I'm not 100% sure.
like, look at this, dude.
That's so insane.
So when you land that, now are you going to be like, okay, let me try this during the contest, or is that just a one and done
Dude,
thing?
I
where
was
you're
like,
cool, I did it. I'm
That shit
good?
went straight to the gram.
Yeah.
Swear to God. Like I was like,
You rolled out of it, bro. Go.
I was like, so like I said, I hadn't been in California for long, and in all reality, man, like shout out to Instagram in a way, because it was like such a voice for me.
Yeah.
In a way, you know, like when I first moved out here, it was like I didn't have a company that I was filming for. Like the thought of even piecing a part together was just like, I don't know. I was filming shit, but who's gonna put it out? You know, when nobody knows you.
I get
It was
type
like a
of
little
shit.
sponsor me tape almost to an extent.
Yeah, kind of.
Like,
You know, I was
or
like
just, you know-
compiling footage, but for what? For who?
Yeah.
You know, and so like I was posting a lot of shit on Instagram, and that's kind of like how people started really picking up who I was.
Interesting.
Is this
Was through
2016?
Instaclips.
Is this 16 or 17 or how old?
Probably 2016, 7. Yeah.
Because that was like the stage where
Yeah,
15 to
this is-
17 where like everyone's going to Instagram, right?
Yeah,
away.
it was
Oh,
like
shit.
such a thing at the time as
Yeah,
well, you know?
2017.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, I was just like literally like just posting the gnarliest shit that I could do straight to
right.
Instagram. Like
That's
wasn't
amazing.
saving any footage really. It was just like, oh cool, like maybe people will like this. And in my head, like this wasn't like this big deal, like people kind of made it once it was posted, you know, like I didn't think that people, like I was just like, oh, there'll probably be some old heads that really like respected the
Yeah,
fact that I
they're
did that.
hyped, right.
But you know, I didn't think like it turned into like something so much larger than I imagined too. So it was like even after the fact, I was like, probably shouldn't have put that on Instagram.
Nah,
But
that
that's
was
Whatever. But I
perfect.
went and like
Moment in time,
refilmed it
bro.
and
Right.
put it in a video part just to have like a not an iPhone angle and
Yeah.
whatever.
Dude,
But
even like you said, old heads, like, oh fuck yeah, but even me that doesn't know this anything,
exactly.
I'm like, what the fuck? That's fucking nuts.
Yeah,
So,
I was just like, oh yeah,
definitely.
like I bet some of the like OG Combi heads would be like really stoked to see this.
But when you
But
said
then it
this
was just blew up
Yeah.
and like
But it blowing up, like, do you like when you went to the then actual Combi contest? Like, were people expecting you to do it?
Yeah,
Or, like-
kinda.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
like, and I tried like a couple actually
Oh,
in
you
one
did?
one of the
Okay.
contests like,
Okay.
but it was pretty funny. This other like kid, like just started trying it too.
Oh,
like,
really?
I like,
You're like,
tried
hey,
it.
haven't you seen my
I like
videos?
tried it in like I tried it in like my last run or something, just because I had pretty much done what I wasn't really gonna do a better run, and I was just like, give them what they want. Even if you bail, they're still gonna be like, oh, you tried
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
fuck. You know, everybody was just waiting on that. You know, it was like pretty shortly after I did it that the contest happened. So everybody was just kind of tweaking on the sidelines, waiting for me to do this fucking, I don't know. And so another kid like tried it right after me, and then I was like, well, I already did this shit.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to have the battle
Yeah.
Right.
like
what am I
with this
doing?
guy.
What are we doing here?
And then I actually was like, that year I tried to heel flip frontside air it.
Woo!
And
What?
it's like the actually one trick that fucking haunts me to this day. Like
Wait.
put one down like I stuck it and just slipped out.
Did you? Is there footage of it? Did you post? No.
It's lurking somewhere like
on your Instagram.
on
no?
people's Instagrams probably. Like I think a couple of
gnarly.
homies posted it. I could never get myself to like. I'm not gonna post the bail.
I know.
You're gonna try to
You
get
know,
back there.
like-
Is it gone now? Or
I
is
think
it,
it's
is it there?
I think it's still there.
Okay.
But it's just closed.
It's they've done like a couple private events
yeah.
and stuff.
So you could.
I might could, but then it's also like this weird. Like I'm gonna have to like probably get in touch with like the higher ups at Vans and
No,
like
but if
then it's like a thing, you know, and it's
Steve
like
Van
oh
Doren.
shit.
Pressure
I'm
on it.
sure you can get a whole Steve
I
Van
got
Doren.
Steve-
Pressure, you know.
I got Steve's
I like to
number.
just I like when things just work.
I
You
got
know,
Steve's
like
I like
number.
the
You wanna
I'm
do
not
that?
much of
I'm
I'm
that
not
way
much
as
of
well,
a
bro.
planned filmer guy. I like take me to the spot, we see what works.
Did you do the
You
loop?
know, and so to know I have zero interest.
If Tony said if they set the and he said, "Come on in, Clay, let's do
He
this."
has, and I was like, y'all have fun,
Seriously, why?
dude. Fuck that thing.
No, but why?
I don't. It's just like the
You
risk
could-
to reward thing is like,
I
like,
agree.
It's not.
Really?
That's not. Doesn't. It's not something that thrills me.
I feel like it'd be right
And
up
it's
your
like-
alley.
What like? Also, to just be like, I'm like the 28th person to do it.
Yeah.
Like, what
But
is
still,
like
there's-
to risk all that to be like, like, for me that it's not. I don't care to be like, oh, I did the loop.
Right.
Bad enough to go do the loop.
Okay.
Like too many people have gotten like served up on that thing.
Straight up,
I'm
bro.
good on that.
Right.
You
Rag
know,
doll
like,
no other.
Okay.
I'm good on that. Like,
What if Bob was like, "Hey, I'm gonna take the top out and I'm gonna do it again"? Like, come on, Clay.
I'm like, tap in with me. I'm gonna come watch.
Yeah.
I'll be your biggest supporter, but
It's gnarly.
my board is at the house. Sorry.
Dude,
Like,
I think the Schaefer Slam is the worst.
Yeah,
slam.
like-
like
Yeah,
that.
dude.
He got broke. Dude.
got
That
ragged
was-
on.
so
that was
served
scary,
up.
man.
There's like clips of Jake Brown doing it, like absolutely hammered at Tampa back in the day, like pretty legendary shit. No pads.
Crazy.
He like
he did it padless hammered.
Dude, yeah, and he actually, if you watch, dude, he loops out like super gnarly, like gets super scared, and they have the pad, fucking would have died for sure, and then he's like, move that pad.
Jake Brown.
Yeah, dude, like gets so sketchy.
And the pad's there, and he gets served.
yeah, he gets served onto the pad, and then he's like, get that fucking thing out of here. I'm doing it right here. Like,
No.
like after
Move
getting
that bus. Move that
dude.
bus.
It is like such an iconic clip. It's like, bro, you were not even close to making it, and then he's like, yeah, move it. I'm ready. I'm ready. You know?
If we could find,
yeah.
JC's
It's
looking.
so hilarious. I don't know like exactly where
Okay.
you could dig to
So
find it.
no
but it's
loop.
classic.
You're good on the loop. We're good.
Yeah.
Okay.
No thanks,
Okay.
man. Like I think it'd be really cool to do like a full pipe, maybe like a natural full pipe. That
Oh, yeah,
interests
a
that interests
natural.
me a bit.
Okay.
But this, like, no thanks.
This is Jake Brown. Let's see here.
Oh yeah, this is for sure the year.
Oh damn.
Yeah, I just got a couple matches. Oh, that may have been him in the background. Shout out
Yeah.
to Jake Brown too, man. Love that guy.
I've never met him. I'd love to.
Oh,
have him on
dude,
the
he
show.
is
Jake
like-
Brown's the
oh,
man, bro.
yeah.
Straight
He is
up.
like the. Oh, here he is. Maybe he has a helmet on, but
Dude.
Oh,
Yeah, dude. This might be the one.
That one right there was enough.
How could you
bro.
say
look
move
at
that
it.
pad after that?
Look how hyped
He did. He's juice. He's like, get that shit out of here. I'm going.
Well, that was
I
his
hope
first
they show
time
it.
ever trying it.
Holy shit.
Dude, I don't even know. Like, this video just lives in my mind. You know, like,
Dude.
I spent a lot of time with Jake, man. He's you know, when the Mega Ramp sessions were kind of firing, when I first moved out here, I spent a lot of time with that cat, and then, man, he would just like pull up to the house randomly. Like, he's back in Australia now, but
Okay.
I'd be like doing yard work and shit. He'd just pull up like, got any beers, bro? Let's play some dice.
way.
I'm like, all right, shit.
Yeah, he's the
Let's
man.
do it. You know, like,
Dude.
such a fucking rad human.
Let's see if it.
Dude, this
And one of the greatest, man. Like, you know, one of my main inspirations for like vert skating, and like dudes
Oh.
were just doing it different back then, you know.
Would you
like,
say that
yeah.
he's one of your he's your top
for
like,
sure,
favorite-
you
favorite
man? Like,
skaters?
I just loved like all the tech shit.
Yeah.
They like him, Colin, Danny. Like I was saying earlier, you know, it's like you can only do so many 540s before that shit gets old,
Right.
you know. And like these dudes were like doing
They're pushing it.
They were
like
pushing it,
you know,
sure.
switch trays and shit, no grab. That like I also felt like as a vert skater that I wanted my skateboarding to like translate to like not vert skaters as well.
Oh, I see you saying.
You know,
that.
it's like
Yeah.
even
It
as
did,
a vert
it did.
skater, you can only watch like standard vert skating for so long before it's just like it is this weird like routine of 540s and things, you know.
I almost
Yeah.
feel like Jimmy Wilkins is a good example of that.
I mean, but
he's
it's
like
just-
it's more like street skating almost.
yeah, for sure.
You
Like
know?
that,
And
dude,
like
that is
growing up, Colin McKay was the
Dude.
one dude I related to because he like I mean I couldn't do the tricks he was doing even on ledges sometimes, but he was doing ledge tricks.
exactly, you
on
know,
vert.
like, and you watch somebody like do a bunch of 540s and you've never really like even skated a vert ramp. You're like, okay, whatever. But it's like if you watch him backtail big spin out on a vert ramp as like someone who's a ledge skater, you can be like, I don't want to do that on the fucking vert ramp. You know, I liked that, like that whole idea of like the skating that you don't understand at all translating over,
Yeah.
you know,
Yep,
to
yep.
people like,
That don't.
you know, it's like, oh, 900 is a 900 and oh, it's just kind of becomes like fucking the stuff that you guys do, you know, at some point, like it literally like my brain is like, doesn't comprehend it that well. Like
Right.
as impressed as I can be with like certain ledge tricks, like I could never do them,
Yeah.
you know? And so there is like this weird gap of like, how do you translate the difficulty of something when you couldn't even get into it to
Right.
begin?
Yeah.
You know, like if you don't drop it on a vert ramp, how do you even comprehend the difficulty of a 900? You're just like, whoa, that was gnarly.
Yeah.
You know? And so it's like the idea of like doing flip tricks and stuff with no grab, it was like, yeah, like street skaters can comprehend it a bit more. It's
Yeah.
like, whoa, like
We could relate
I
a
can
little
tray
bit,
flip.
yeah.
You know, they might tray flip down a fucking 12 stair like nothing. But then it's like, but I don't want to do the tray flip on a vert ramp.
Well, do
You know, there's this weird like,
Well, I think when as a street skater, when I watch vert and I see anyone grab their board, I'm disconnected because
Yeah.
I've never done grabs in my life.
Yeah.
But you see a tray hook to fakie on vert, you're like, whoa, that was fucked up.
Yeah,
Because
it's
you
just-
can relate. To
you can
that.
relate.
Yeah.
Like when
yeah.
Bob
You know?
Burnquist did the fakie
5-0.
5-0 fakie
flip.
flip
Yeah.
out. Like
Yeah.
you're like, dude, I can relate, but I'm not going to do that.
exactly,
Yeah.
you know? And like, and I hated, still to this day, kind of hated the whole like classifications of skateboarding. Like, oh, like you're a vert skater, you're a this skater. It's like, dude, I'm a skateboarder. Like,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
better at vert, but like, I like to skate everything. I'm like, I'm no Nija, I'm no whatever. Like,
Well, I
but
think
I enjoy it just as much as I enjoy skating vert. I'm just better at vert.
Nowadays,
Like,
there's so
you know, it's
many
like-
more skaters that are ATVs, right?
Yeah.
So I think that kind of came along when you were either like a street skater
Yeah,
or a
for
vert
sure.
skater. But now it's like Zion skating vert, like
Yeah.
Uto, dude. Right?
Uto,
It's
like,
crazy.
you know. So now there's like it's like yeah, you're a skater.
Yeah.
For
And
sure.
I don't know. I always had this weird, like, I always felt like I had something to prove when it came to that in a weird way. You know, I was like, I'm not just a vert skater, dude. Like, even though I got in a fucking amp, you know, it's like, for sure. But I was like, no, I skate other things too. I swear. I swear. Try. Look, I'm trying.
I think when Danny Way, I've always been a fan of his skating and like how gnarly it was. But when he made the first mega ramp and he put like the rainbow rail in there and he started doing like shit and Bob with like doing manuals and stuff on the that was a next big leap in skateboarding.
Pretty like iconic era of like. What is that video? The
DC video?
DC video, where it's like fades out and then it's just like back, and then it's just like, what is this thing? You know? Like,
I kind of heard like him as Chris, because Chris was living with Robbie McKinley. He's in the video. I was around you guys a lot. I don't know if I heard something like that even happening.
I think it was like not. Even if it was talked about, I don't even think people knew what the hell they were talking about.
Yeah,
right? It was just like, oh, Danny Way's doing this. What's he doing? I just with the like, you know, I
don't even explain it. Yeah,
before it became like the mega ramp. Like, what do you? Yeah,
but then that video came out, and you're like, whoa,
thing down the mountain, and you jump it, and I'm sure it was like, what the?
Yeah.
But honestly, I don't remember hearing anything about it and just seeing it and being like, what the fuck? I don't even know if the writers. Maybe
I thought it was very low key. I thought it was like a secret type.
I think Danny Way's like that too.
I think they may have kept it a bit hush.
I remember hearing about like Van England's last trick the day that it happened in the DC video, but like people were not really talking about Danny. Dude, Danny's just got like the gnarliest part. That's all I could say. And how that's all I would hear.
I mean, bro, look at that. This is
yeah.
We had never
the helicopter angles and stuff, dude. It was just like
we had never seen anything like this. Like
Point X,
crazy, and the fact that they
what was your sorry, Chris.
No, I'm just saying, like they just built this thing, like random. They have this idea. And now they just go and spec it out and build this fucking thing.
What was your thoughts when you first saw this? Like, because like if you're skating vert and you see something completely new,
dude, I was pretty amped on all this shit. You know, like on top of being a vert skater, I was always an air kid. Like,
you love to fly, baby.
I still to this day, lip tricks are just like the death of me on a vert ramp. You know, like it's just was a whole different process for me to like learn shit like that than it was for me to learn air tricks. You know, I was like, and I had this one guy growing up that would just kind of lurk at the skate park. I probably saw him on a skateboard maybe like 2 or 3 times in the span of 5 or so years that he was around, but he was just like this older guy that I like felt like what, you know, he was like an OG and he knew what he was talking about, and he would just tell me like, I'd be like just a frothing little kid like, oh, I want to learn something, I want to try this, I want to try that, what should I learn, blah blah, and he's like, every time I asked for any sort of advice or anything, he'd just tell me to go faster. Like, so like when I was first trying to learn 540s, I was like nearly smacking the roof of the building, like, because he's like, you just more speed, more time. He would say like, speed is your friend, flat bottom is not. And, and like I said, never even saw this dude skate hardly, but in my head, I was like, this guy knows what he's talking about. And so I just like got pretty obsessed and into like going as high as I possibly could. And in my head, more speed and more airtime will make my life easier, you know? And so then I see the mega ramp and I'm like, well, you can go even higher and faster. So it's like definitely super intriguing.
Actually makes
to me,
sense,
you know?
It does make sense, the speed factor.
Yeah, I was like,
you know?
Sure.
I would seriously just like go to the skate park, and like one of my friend's dads that I was skating with at the time, you know, he built like this extension on the vert ramp just so I could get more speed. Because I would literally just like drop in and just do straight airs and see how high I could go. Like I had this weird fascination with just like,
was this
going
indoors?
high. Yeah. And the roofs were not that high. Like, so you could skate like one side of the ramp, the other side, like I smashed the ceiling quite a few times. Yeah.
Jesus.
But I mean, not as in like, oh, I was fucking ripping doing these huge airs. It's like, it was like it was like a 5-foot ceiling, you know, it didn't take much to hit the ceiling, you know?
How is it? Have you seen Bill, going back to Bill Weiss, have you seen him do the naked 540?
Never in person.
No, okay.
Never
That's
in
his
person.
thing, you know?
Obviously,
That's his, he loves.
yeah, I had like a.
He loves a.
Man,
He's a showman.
Yeah.
that guy, you know.
I had a like article on Thrasher, and they like it's super funny. They asked me about that, and I guess my quote at the time was like, "We got to see the balls drag the flat bottom one more time," and it's just like the headlining.
That's
Like
so that they
all-
highlighted that part.
Oh yeah, it's like blasted in my article. It's super funny. But yeah, I've been trying to vouch for that one for quite some time since I like kind of got in with Weiss. I give him shit all the time. Like, dude, one more time, we got to see it.
He's a great dude,
Yeah,
man.
such a ledge.
So you're in. Wait, can I say you just came back from Abu Dhabi?
Yeah.
What was going on out there? Was that a Rockstar thing?
No,
What was
man, not at
happening?
all. So my lady's a professional surfer.
Really?
Yeah, and so
I don't know why this isn't on.
yeah, I've
silent.
just been like going and supporting her when I don't have things to do myself. If our schedules will allow it,
Amazing.
I just go on vacay, because I don't know jack shit about surfing.
Have you tried?
Very few times in my life.
Okay.
I
Leave it to her.
spend like the whole winters in Hawaii and like never paddled out once. Like I just don't really have the itch for it.
Okay.
I guess but like, I just tag along and show some love when I can. And
How'd you
so
meet her?
she had a contest. They just built like a wave pool out there. Kelly Slater has like this, technology, whatever. So
Yeah.
he put one of his pools in Abu Dhabi. So I just like, bro, I'm just tagging along. Lifetime vacation.
Really?
Yeah.
His other wave pool's in Texas, I
Tight.
believe. He's got one in Texas or Arizona.
That's like a
something
different
that?
company, but there
Oh,
is
is
one
it?
in Texas.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
He has one in Lemoore. I'm not real sure where that's
Oh, like
at.
down, like here in
Yeah,
California.
Yeah, Kelly has like a
Okay.
wave pool there, and then they just built another one in Abu. It's like not even technically open to the public. Yeah, it was like the first
Right.
kind of event that they did.
This is it.
Yeah, dude. So I'm just like, I spend a lot of time doing this, watching surfing nowadays.
Is
which
that her?
Yeah,
Wow, what?
which is super rad. She's like,
That's sick.
she'll probably be super embarrassed when she runs this back, but I'll shout her out because she's like
Yeah.
she's a shy gal and she wouldn't do it on her own. But 3-time world champion,
Wow. Really?
longboard surfer.
Tight.
Yeah, she's a legend.
Oh,
Man. Like,
longboard.
yeah, longboarder.
Wow.
She can rip
Okay.
a shortboard and stuff, but when she competes, she's on a longboard
Did she grow up here? Did she grow up
in Hawaii.
Oh, in Hawaii.
Yeah,
Amazing.
North Shore of Oahu.
There you go.
So yeah, I've been last few years I've been spending like half my year in San Diego area and then half the year in Hawaii.
Wow.
Amazing.
Yeah,
I always
cool.
wondered, like, how street skaters would look at, like, getting a street clip rather than having a clip in a skate park. Is it weird that people are doing like the surf pools or whatever, like these wave pools? Are surfers like, that's not cool? It's not like the in the real spot.
I don't know. It's like it's a pretty funny thing, and like I said, I'm like so clueless to the surf world. Like anything I know about it is like my knowledge has come from the last 3 years of knowing my lady. You know, like I didn't know jack shit about surfing, but it's like this weird gray area, because I think there's like this maybe like a bit of saltiness of like, oh, these kids just learn how to do all this shit in a wave pool and blah blah blah. Like there's not even the elements of the ocean. But then, like, any chance, like, you ask any surfer, it seems like any chance they get to go to the wave pool, they're going.
They're going.
They ain't gonna miss that. They're not gonna miss out on that opportunity. And it's like shit's super expensive, man. Like,
Yeah, man.
as
Yeah.
well. And so it's like if me and the homies, like, if us, we just like, dude, let's go to Kelly's pool. I want to rent that shit out. Try and figure out this surfing thing.
It
Like,
ain't cheap.
who got $100,000?
Yeah.
Like for the day.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, going to a surf spot, like in general, I don't know much about surfing at all either, but like it's very territorial at surf spots, and you're like fighting for a wave. And
Yeah, for
it's hard
sure.
to,
Yeah,
It's
but
like
when
a
you got a
hierarchy
perfect
and
wave
like a-
every single time.
No, totally.
That's,
Yeah.
like,
Or,
that's
like-
when it becomes like,
yeah.
fun.
So I think, I mean, I think it's like a love hate for sure
And there's
with,
no
with it,
sharks in it. There's no
probably more love than hate because I
No,
don't know. I think it's like seems like everybody's pretty juiced on it.
Yeah.
As far as like the surfing folk go, but yeah, like I said, dude, I've only stood up on a surfboard like a handful of times in my life.
Yeah.
So
No, it's so hard, dude.
I went and surfed the one in Texas
Oh, you
like
did?
recently,
Okay.
yeah, with my lady and like some of her friends.
Sick.
So it's like super mellow because like she's always like, I'll be at these contests and she's like, oh, the waves are pretty perfect for you today. You want to go out? I'm like, hell no. It's like all these like world champs and shit.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I'm good on that. And like, so I was just like hiding out. It was like 3 of us in the wave pool. So I was like, okay, like
Were there?
I didn't mind eating shit in front of 3 people and
Right,
like
right,
figuring
right.
this whole thing out and like wasting waves too is like a funny thing there. Like, cause it's so expensive to run this shit that it's like the pressure of even missing a wave.
Oh,
It's
wow,
Like,
yeah.
cause then you're just like watching thousands of dollars. Like,
No,
you know, like
I never thought of that.
No,
Actually.
Yeah,
somebody
like-
was telling us the prices of those wave pools, and they're like, they are expensive.
Yeah, pricey,
only
dude.
for like an hour or
yeah.
something.
And this
To go there.
this
run?
one in Abu Dhabi
To
was
go.
like,
To go.
dude, the place is
Thousands
mental.
of dollars.
Oh, really?
I can promise I've never been to a skate event that even remotely resembled this. You know, like
Wow.
like just the service, like the facility that the wave pool is at is jokes, man. It's like so nice.
I wonder if like I know it's all about surfing right now, but like the going into the Olympics for 2028, if they're going to use wave pools at like the one that Kelly has. Here.
Yeah, I don't know. Like,
because then it's
maybe
more
like
fair.
maybe
doesn't-
like at some point they'll like more competitions will start to lean that way because there's like this weird like there's less room for error, and like
And everybody
that's
gets a
where like,
perfect
dude,
wave.
I'm just
Yeah.
learning all this shit too with like competitive surfing where like I'd probably do one contest and quit surfing because of how like you could just get shit on by Mother Nature. That's it. Like you lose because
You don't
Mother
get away.
Nature didn't want to, like gave this person the benefit of the doubt and not you. Where it's like you go to the skate park, like that shit ain't budging. Like when I drop in for my contest run, like it's not like it. My reference, would be like I wake up and I get to go compete at the California training facility, blah, blah, blah. And then it's like, now you get to compete against me, but you have to go to Washington Street.
Oh yeah.
It's like, it's pretty much what they're doing. Like, like some people get like this beautiful period of time where the waves are great, everything's glassy, whatever. Like, and then next heat goes out and it's just flat the whole time.
Right.
Like no waves come through.
Right.
And like, that's kind of how you take your L. Like,
Yeah, just because
at least as a skateboarder, you're like, well, I didn't show up today.
Like
you
it was
know?
you.
Like,
It was you, not
it's
the
me.
elements.
Yeah, it's
for
like
sure. For sure.
you're at least on level playing field, in a skate
totally.
competition.
totally.
When you've been a Rockstar for a while now, right?
Yeah.
You said 8 years, maybe.
Yeah,
8 years?
like roughly 8 years or so. Yeah.
Okay. How did you even get hooked up with Rockstar?
I actually, like, I think just over time, like, some folks over there had noticed my skating, but I think like, if I were to, try and break it down into one moment, I did like a vert contest at Elliot Sloan's house, and he rode for Rockstar at the time, and I like won the event, and so I like, and it was a Rockstar thing.
Okay.
They put on the contest, and so all the Rockstar heads were there, and Steve Mateus, like the TM at the time, kind of was pretty juiced on my skating, and then they were doing the podium thing, and he's like, oh, like fucking throw on this shirt, throw on this hat, like want to wear this Rockstar shit, and I was just like, nah. Like, yeah, I was like, nah, let's chat later.
Right.
Like,
right.
let's line something up. Like, I like what I'm hearing, but no, I'm not doing it now. I was like, I want to, like, let's get something in writing, bro. Kind
You
of
just throw on a
I
random
was like,
shirt.
I was like, damn, like, I think, like, luckily, in this split second, I had this, like, idea of, like, it being the first and last time that I ever wore a Rockstar hat and got paid by them. Like, they got their podium shot, and then it was
Right.
like, cool, thanks.
Peace. Yeah.
And so I was like, no, but let's for sure stay in contact, and then, like, shortly after that, yeah, we just kind of started chatting together, and then,
Nice.
like, Combi contest was coming up, and he's like, well, let's just get you on the program before this event, and this is like after the Combi Gap thing, so
Okay.
there was like some weird kind of
Okay, there
hype
was
going
some-
on,
okay.
and it was like, yeah, just kind of fell into place.
Nice.
Yeah, around that time, and man, shout out to Steve and Jen, the whole team, that's looked after me these last few years, man. Like, take such good care of me, and they've created like a pretty insane team, and it's like, even to this day, it's like growing in like a pretty rad direction,
Yeah.
in my opinion. You know, I think they've always done a sick job of having rad dudes and it
Totally.
not being too like corporate or too like, you know, and as corny as it may sound, like such a like family with those dudes. Like we all get along so well. Like we were just out at that, you know, that Rockstar Open event, and you know, we spend a lot of time together, and like street homies, Vert, this, whatever, like we all get along so rad. And I think that they've like taken that into consideration over the years too, like just dope, you know, like even with like such a large corporation to like still try and keep it as core as you can. And you know, Steve does his homework. Like the dude's like,
Well, he's been in the game.
yeah,
for a
he's
while
been in the
too,
game for a minute, and like he's just done a really rad job, you know. Like they just like put on Laser Crawford
Laser
recently,
Crawford,
and like then he just goes to that contest and wins the shit out of it.
That's crazy.
Like such a rad kid. Like
well, that's why I wanted to.
Braden and like dude, like
Hope
all
Jocelyn.
the new and the old generation, man.
Yeah.
Like back to like Bucky and Omar and like legends, dude.
Yeah.
Like they've kind of always had like this insane team.
Well, that's why I wanted to ask you about it too, because like I just did the Rockstar Energy Open with you and everybody there, and I was doing announcing with Sean Malto.
Yeah.
And it really didn't feel corporate at all. It felt very homegrown. It felt very like, hey, what do you want me to do? Do whatever you want.
Yeah.
And like announce, just have fun. Like there's no expectations. There's no like, hey, we want you to be buttoned up and professional. We just want you to call skating, talk shit with Malto, and just have a great time. And even the skating, like the way that it was like, it did not have any corporate vibes whatsoever. And I loved that. I thought it was amazing.
I know that was like Steve's kind of goal.
Yeah.
You know, like I had a chat with him months and months before anything ever really, you know, was like set in stone or came about. And he's like, dude, we need to have fun. Like,
this is skateboarding.
it's been like, you know, there in the last couple of years, like with the Olympics and this and that, I feel like get the gang together and party vibe kind of vanished a bit. You know, like I had some really sick years with like Vans Park series and stuff like that, where it was like there, you know, like you once you drop in, like you're trying to win, but like
Sure.
you're still like, it wasn't this crazy pressure and like fight to the finish like these Olympic events and things kind of came to be. And he's like, dude, I'm over it. I want to have fun. Like, let's throw a party, like type of vibe, you know? And it really did like feel like that again, you know? And I kind of like pulled out of all the Olympic shit because I was like, it was stealing the fun out of it for me, man. Like it really was. Like, and if you're not having fun skateboarding, like why do it, man?
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
like this shit's pretty brutal if you ain't having no fun.
I was trying to look for the clip because, like, I mean, you got Grayson Fletcher doing backflips
Dude.
into the bowl. It was psycho. It was
Grayson
really fun to watch, man.
won the weekend.
Oh, he was
dude.
the
Like,
guy. Like he was MVP
Yeah,
for sure.
For sure, man.
Maybe JC could find. Oh, there it was, right there. JC, you had it. Oh, look at this guy. He
Dude.
misses 50-50 for some weird
Oh
reason,
my
and he
gosh.
backflips into
Dude.
the bowl. There's got to be a better shot of it.
For sure, there's one lurking.
But it was fun, man. It was a good time.
yeah, it was.
And I feel like it's cool to see Rockstar doing stuff because I feel like they were kind of like, I wouldn't say stagnant, but they were in the cuts, right? They were building their team. They have their guys, they have their girls, but then now it's like they got the Rockstar Energy Open. They got more of those planned. Like it's cool to see them like starting to like get in
For
it,
sure,
you know?
man. I was just like, you know, geeked to be a part of it, and like when everything, you know, started like actually, you know, coming to life, it was like like I said, I had chatted with Steve about it, but it was just kind of like his thoughts, you know, on the phone. You know, it's like, this is what I want to do, and so to see that event come to life, and you know, like the athletes or whatever you want to call it that they invited, and you know, I feel like start to finish they did like an incredible job. Even like, dude, like having you on the mic, having Omar on the mic, Malto on the mic, like Vern on the mic. They're like,
Wait,
like,
Omar was on the mic?
yeah, dude. Yeah, like it was loose. Amazing. It was like pretty loose event, really, you know, and they like that's kind of was like the goal, and I feel like they did a pretty damn good job. Like it kind of surpassed my expectations of what.
Was Omar or Larry?
You know?
Was it Omar or Larry?
It was Omar.
It was Omar.
He was professional.
It was Omar. It was Omar. But Larry was lurking around Portland.
Later on, Larry
I seen Larry out and about.
I love both those dudes.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
but it was
two of the best guys I know.
But yeah, just to say, like again, like I think that it was really loose and fun, and it wasn't stuffy. It was like really like a good, and the people that they brought there to skate wasn't the normal lineup that you see at any contest. It was like random, but which made it so amazing. Yeah. It was like dudes you never see out there.
It wasn't all just Rockstar skaters.
Oh my god. No. It was everybody.
That's dope.
Yeah, and I'm like always pretty juiced too when like contest align to where like there's the street contest and a park contest or something, you know, like because I'm like such good homies with a lot of the street dudes, but you know, like we end up doing separate events and stuff, and so it's like really sick to get the whole crew together, and like pretty much everybody stayed in one hotel.
Yep.
And so it's just like the stoop was firing every night. Like,
it was just
cool
thing. I never met like Keegan Palmer. I never met any of the, like I've seen him around, but like to have everybody just in one place and like kicking it outside the hotel and inside, and like you felt this like very close you know what I mean? Like everybody knew each other, even if we didn't know each other.
That's skateboarding though.
No, 100%. But it wasn't like it felt like all as one, right? It didn't feel like, oh, I'm kicking it with the fucking vert skaters. It was just, it was rad. It was a good feeling.
It's like I said, it's always fun, man, when like the crews end up meshing, you know, like, but it's rare, you know, it's like some X Games events, you know, but then it's like, you know, you have Street League, and then even like I said, when Park Series was a thing, you know, they weren't doing street contests at the Vans Park Series. It was just, so it's just like all the training guys, and then so getting everybody together is always a good time, man.
Totally. Are they be having these contests again? They're gonna make a couple.
So what I've heard is that they got a couple more planned for next year, and I think they want to just keep them going.
Yeah, man.
I don't know if it's gonna be in Portland.
I think that like the whole team was pretty juiced, like on. Like not even just the skate team, you know, like the whole team at Rockstar, you know, that helped put on the event. I think that they were all like pretty thrilled on how everything went, and like, I think they're pushing it to hopefully do some more. I don't know if it'll be in the same location or if they're gonna try and do different locations or what. But fingers crossed they do it again, man, because it was a great time.
I think it was a good first start. Yeah, like, it was good first. Like and the turnout was good, and it was fun, man.
Yeah. Why was it in Portland? Like, is that where their headquarters are? I'm just asking. I don't know.
I'm actually
event space there.
I'm not even real sure.
Yeah.
Why they landed on Portland? To be completely honest,
they do have this like huge event space there by the river where it was. Yeah. That place is huge. Burnside's right up the street.
Yeah.
Like,
okay.
So there's some good. I wanted to go by Burnside too. I'd never been there before, but
did you stop by or no?
I didn't. Well, we were kind of like hotel, and then we'd get back and we'd go eat dinner.
Yeah.
So it was not.
Yeah, Burnside's insane, man.
I'm not gonna really, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not dropping it.
Yeah. Legendary spot,
you know,
though.
Yeah, 100%. Like,
if you ever find yourself, you know, back in that zone, like even if you just drop by and say like check it off the list, you know, like there it is, got to see it, because it's worth seeing, man. It's like it's pretty damn impressive.
They're about to do construction on that bridge. So so I heard that the city council was trying to figure out, and people who are involved in Burnside, they were trying to figure out ways to like preserve that park and also rebuild the bridge.
Oh wow!
So they were trying to, and I think
there's even thought.
Well, the city council knows how important it is.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
They're really down. They're trying to
landmark, bro.
Yeah, they're trying to preserve it, but it's
1,000%.
DIY, right? Yeah. So it's not like the city had anything to do with it.
Totally.
But they know the importance of it.
Yeah,
for sure. So I think they're going to redo it, but then also like work around Burnside, which is awesome. Yeah,
super rad, because those dudes crushed it over there, man. Like that place is insane.
Yeah,
you know, like I'm still like blown away with like Washington Street, every DIY, man.
Washington
it's like
Street's gnarly,
we have, you know, like I didn't really have anything like that growing up. To like, it's still, like I said, to this day, it blows my mind that, you know, started with a pillar of a bridge and has turned into what it is, man. It's like
Psycho.
the work
really is.
that's been put into those places is unreal. Shout
Yeah.
out to everyone, all the builders, all the crews.
Dude.
Big shot.
What's going on now? You working on a video part? What are we working
Yeah,
on?
I've been filming a bit. I would really love to do, like I said, I've been spending a lot of time in Hawaii. I would love to do
a skate surf
like
part.
a-
I'm not.
minus the surf, yeah. Just like a Hawaii film, you know, on like just skating, like
Oh,
obviously, you
interesting.
know, like, but so I spent a lot of time with Arto out there. He lives just down the street.
Doesn't
and
Danny have his place out there too?
on a different island
Oh, is it?
that I stay on, yeah.
Okay.
But Arto lives just up the road, and so I'm shooting with him all the time, and
Rad.
and I'm like bugging him to like, you know, put down the camera and pick up a video camera. You know, he's
Yeah.
like super into photography and to like the art of filming and photography too. So it's like prying the like, no, I'm trying to get brute thing out of him. You know, like we're not. He's always like, bro, we're arting right now. And I'm like, dude, I'm trying to get clips, fool. You know, like, so yeah, I've just been trying to like, you know, maneuver with like filming with surfers
Rad.
and like surf filmers and stuff.
Okay.
But yeah, I'll be really, really stoked to do something there.
So where are you skating at when
Yeah,
you're
is there
out
a lot
there?
of ramps
Yeah.
out there?
I skate for the most part at Bonzai is the park. So
Okay.
that piece that I brought earlier, like I said, that's like
Oh, yeah,
pieces.
right here.
Kelly,
Yeah, so it's actually like pieces of the Bonzai Skatepark.
Now, wait, when
there's
you
a part
say-
like that's decaying,
Oh, okay.
and I was just like, I'm doing something with that, you know, like because I spend a lot of time there, and it is such a legendary spot, you know,
Did they
like
rebuild
well
it?
before I ever touched it, you know, it was like just the history of that place is
Yeah.
pretty legendary, and so I was like, man, like I want it, like I'm taking these pieces, I'm keeping them forever, and like I'll figure out something to do with them.
The pieces you took, did they rebuild the part that's
No, it's
decaying?
just
Oh, it's still.
it's just like this weird side part of this ledge, you know, that yeah, I don't know, like just I'm a weirdo, like, and just hoard things that I think are rad, and so I just grabbed all these chunks of concrete and was like,
I'm not familiar.
yeah, I got a piece of bonsai forever until I figure out something to do with them, you know.
I'm not
But
even
I was like,
familiar.
yeah, I had them in a shoebox, like, yeah, like so geeked on it. Right?
I'm not
Like,
even familiar with bonsai.
super flowy, like
Yeah.
Ronnie Sandoval just had a bunch of clips in Hawaii, had some clips there. He does like a super gnarly burn twist on this like
Okay.
extension.
This is
It's a super fun park.
This is it
and
right
I'm
here.
sure you've seen like once, you know, like
some little kid skating it, but this
Evan
is it.
Mock and like just like, you know,
Okay. Yeah, it looks cool.
it's fun, man. It's
Yeah.
it's a bit smaller than things that I generally skate, but I have a lot of fun there, and it's been like so refreshing to be a skateboarder there. As weird as that sounds, like I don't know, I feel like I've been in San Diego for quite some time, and it's this weird rat race, like who's the guy, like the up and coming kid, I'm the next Olympian, blah blah, all this shit.
Interesting.
And then you go there, and like I could seriously go to Bonzai and do a fucking 900, and there's gonna be a barefoot kid on the deck just like, can you get out now?
It's my
Like
turn.
it's
I wanna
my
go.
turn.
Yeah.
You know, like they don't really give a fuck like who you are or what you're doing. Like
Kinda
they're just there to
refreshing.
like skate.
Yeah.
You know, and
refreshing,
it's
yeah.
so refreshing after, like I said, so much time in San Diego where every skate park that you go to, like this kid's trying to be the next Olympian, and it's like
Yeah.
I had this weird period of time where it was like I started feeling like I would go to a skate park and either somebody wanted me to fucking give them a demo or they wanted to give me a demo
Right.
and be like as if I have the means to be like, dude, you're on the team now.
Yeah.
You're sponsored. You know, like sick 540. Here's a box. You know, like I'm not the guy for that. But I felt like I was getting that a lot of places that I was going.
Yeah.
You know, it'd either be like people would want to see me do some shit. I'm like, oh God, I just came here to.
Just want to kick it.
I'm pretty dog shit at backsmiths. I came to do work on that.
Right.
You know, like all awkward. Or it was like kids like trying to go off for me, and I'm like, just, I don't know. It was like,
You're like, just calm down, skate.
Yeah,
Let's just have
like,
a good time.
let's do some scratch grinds, boys. Like,
That's California for you, though.
Yeah,
dude.
you know,
That's
and
straight up.
exactly. You know,
Yeah.
I just started like, like I don't know. It's just getting kind of weird, and going there has been so refreshing and like
that.
in a weird way, like rekindled this like love for skateboarding that I was like kind of losing a bit. Not like, I just felt like there did kind of come a time where I was like, who am I doing this for? In a weird way, like that sounds pretty lousy, you know, because it's like such a blessing to do what I do and get to call this my job, and you know, it's fucking insane. Like, but yeah, I did have this period of time like in skating where I was like, who am I doing this shit for? Like, is it for my sponsors? Is it for this some sort of weird respect that I feel like I need out of this industry? Like, what the fuck is this, you know? And like, had to like go back to the Grom days and be like, why did I even fall in love with this in the first place? And it was like kind of we were saying earlier, it's just like that high of learning something new and going to a new place, and you know, and I feel like Hawaii was just like a debrief, you know, like my first winter that I spent there, you know, I was like so out of the industry, you know, for a bit. I was still like skating my ass off, but I just wasn't like so concerned with like keeping up with this Instagram shit, and like, and I know that like to a degree, like my sponsors do care and in this and that, but I don't know, I just felt like I kind of had to do it for myself, like where I spent so many years like trying to do all this shit and post things and do all these contests, and it was like just to take a breather and like enjoy skating and enjoy like, you know, like escaping the industry and the, you know, and it was like so good for me, you know, to be honest.
A time, was this during Olympic stuff too?
Yeah, exactly. You know, because like
I could see.
And then the
that
Olympics
for
came
sure.
about, and like I already started getting like this weird feeling like with contests, you know, I was like, I was experiencing so much and getting to see so much of the world that like, so I didn't ever want to give that up, but I also felt like I'm just going around the world doing the same like 10 tricks over and over on like these very, very similar skate parks or vert ramps or whatever. And I was like, dude, it like really clicked, and I was like, when's the last time I fucking learned something for myself? You know, I was like, whoa, dude, it's been a while. Because I'm just going, dude, got to do the 540 and the kickflip indie and the, you know, check the boxes for the contest. And it was like, man, I'm really enjoying seeing the world and meeting new people and this and that. But like, this is not good for like my sanity on a skateboard. You know, I was like, whoa, dude, like I haven't had that high of like, and like contest highs are like dope, but it's like not like, I'd way rather those 3 seconds of glory when you film a clip, you know, like it's like
working for it.
Yeah, really, at the end of the day, contests are dope because you can make a check.
Yeah.
It's not like I was never the guy that's like, I'm going to be like the most decorated fucking Olympic X Games athlete ever, you know? It's like, man, it'd be really cool to skate in the X Games one day. And I did, and it was like awesome, you know? But it'll never give me the high of the, you know? The glory of landing like something new and like putting in the work for that, you know, and that was so lost for a minute. I was like, dude, I'm not progressing.
Isn't that crazy?
I'm just bouncing around doing the same routine.
Wow.
Sometimes it's good to just take a reset though, bro.
Yeah, and then
just like not be carefree about what you're doing. You know what I mean?
Take a
and
step
then
back.
like at that same time, you know, as I'm already like tripping on this, I was actually going to like fun contests and still was feeling weird about it. And then it was like the Olympics came about, and I went to like the very first Olympic qualifier, and that was it. I never went back. I played my part. I didn't smoke weed for a month so that I could pass a drug test. I was writing for Weed Maps at the time, so I'm like under contract to like wear a Weed Maps shirt in like contests. And so I'm like fucking target on my back in this Olympic qualifier with a Weed Map shirt. And I'm like just was so out of my element, you know. And then like there were so many people in the qualifiers that like I'm like heat 1, all my homies are like heat 9 and 14 and this and that. So I'm like up in Long Beach like by myself. I felt like, you know, I didn't see my homies for a week straight. I was like just eating lunch by myself in restaurants because the homies are practically like whatever. And then there started to like, you know, these like countries, you know, not the skateboarders, but the people like repping for the country were like trying to throw people under the bus. Like, oh, like drug test this guy. No, like this dude was technically skating outside of his practice zone. That's a immediate disqualification. Like, I'm like, what the fuck? Like last week we were homies.
Wow.
Like all of a sudden I come here and it's like, get this guy out of here.
Damn.
You know, it was just like cutthroat.
Yeah.
And I was like,
cool.
Man, this is not it for me. You know, and like I said, I was already going through this weird like thing with the contest skating in general. And I was like, I don't need to do this. If it's gonna steal my fun and like my love for this shit, I definitely don't care to be an Olympian like bad enough to like lose my love for this game, you know, like, and it was just kind of weird because then this is also like COVID era and like I was in my head like, well, I'm already doing all these events. Like if I really like want to go to contests, I can go to all these other contests. And then then all contests kind of vanished except for the Olympic shit. But it's still just like, I don't know. I like don't regret my decision at all. And I like have the utmost respect for the dudes that are doing it. And like, I'm not necessarily the dude that's gonna like just bash the Olympics, you know, like minus like the video of the fucking dad kicking his son in the head. I don't know if you guys seen that shit.
Horrible,
I think we should all hop on a flight to China and fuck that guy up. But
What happened?
minus that, like I'm not like,
I don't even know.
Dude, you never see that?
dude.
Wait,
like,
dude,
this
it's
dad
so
got disappointed in the son and
Dude,
Kicked him in the
like,
head.
Little man's
It was horrible.
is probably 8 years old,
Wow.
it maybe, and like somebody's filming from across the park, but
Dude, it
he's
was
like,
Johnny Tang.
Yeah?
A friend filmed it.
okay, I didn't know who got the actual clip, but
Yeah.
dude, like you just see this Grom come up, get on his knees, like literally gets down on his knees in front of his dad, and his dad just like roundhouse kicks him in the head, like
Whoa.
twice, and then like kicks him straight in the chest just for like not performing well.
And he's bowing in front of him, like
Dude, like, so that type of shit, like I said, like whoever's down, like we go to China and fuck that guy right now. I'm so for it.
Well,
but,
like,
like,
there was a lot of people posting about it, and they're like, "Hey, World Skate and Olympics, what are we doing about this?" And at first, I didn't get it, but I'm like, "No, like you're like, dude, the Olympics made this so serious
Yeah.
in skateboarding that parents are so strict and gnarly
Yeah.
on their kids that they're doing this horrible things." And I'm
Yeah,
like,
that's
"All right,
no-
dude, no,
Yeah,
need this
so
is-
there's this-
never do that
How did I
regardless."
Yeah,
miss
there's this
this?
like
I
weird,
never even saw
dude. It's
this.
gnarly,
It was
but it's
bad.
there's like this gray area, you know, where there's like that type of shit, but then it has also like brought so much success to some of my really great homies and like brought them opportunities that would have never been possible without the Olympics, you know, like even just monetary shit. Like some of my boys are living real good these days because of the Olympics, you
Right.
know, and fucking wasn't just, you know, X Games and this and that were really going to do, you know, like living that way, you know, necessarily. So there's like, and with like it being so much more accepted, like my hometown is now building a skate park that I've been vouching for like the last 15 years that they've just like shut everybody down on, like even like pretty much laughed in Tony Hawk's face. Like he reached out to them, like
Damn.
I got him to reach out to the city. He was like ready to essentially build the whole park and they just donate the land. And you know, they pretty much just laughed in his face and told him it was going to do nothing but bring negativity to the community, having a skate park, you know?
They have no
but now
idea.
they're like, oh yeah, you know, so it's like
Right.
there's a lot of great things happening because of it, but then a lot of horrible things
True.
as well. And I don't know where I stand, like right in the middle maybe with
Yeah.
it, because like I said, I like some of my greatest homies, like Tom just went out and won a bronze medal and is like fucking just like has done like obviously that dude's already was crushing it in general, but it's like has opened doors for people that would have never had that and but also created a lot of negativity around, you know,
It's a
like
double-edged
the pressure
sword.
of like, because now you can be this thing. Like when I was growing up, especially in the area I'm from, it's like there was like no such thing, or like no hope in like you could be a professional skateboarder one day and actually make money doing this shit, you know, like no fucking chance. But now it's created that, but it's brought in like the soccer dads and shit that are like, my son's gonna be a skateboarder, like whether they want to or not, because I want it, you know, like, and that shit's lame.
It's created a whole new breed of skateboarders who are just training for one thing, and that's the Olympics.
And I was like so blessed to grow up in like the most supportive household you could imagine, you know, no matter what you wanted to do. Like mom and pops were, you know, would have backed any of me and my siblings, whatever the hell we wanted to do, you know. But like I came from a sport. My dad was a high school wrestling, baseball, and football coach, you know, like he was fucking ultimate coach guy. But then when skating came along, you know, he like he took a step back, and like obviously he never skated. He didn't know anything about it. So he couldn't really coach me, but like I think he just like to this day his favorite trick is a lean air. That's really all he gives a shit about. I could like, if I would just dropped in like at some contest and just did 10 lean airs back to back, it would be like the best run ever for my dad. You know, like that's all he wants to see. So just do a fucking lean air, bro. Like that's the best trick, you know? And like, but I got to enjoy skateboarding for myself.
Yeah.
You know, and
as you should.
And it didn't like ruin their relationship with me and my dad, which I felt like can happen these days. You know, it's like, I see that shit happening, and dude, I've like popped off on some dads before at skate parks. Like, bro, the kid's either gonna grow up and hate skateboarding or hate you, or both. So like, fucking go sit in the car and take a breather and let the kid fucking
straight up
go take a breather.
Bro. Yeah, like it's insane. Like let him love it, or let him quit tomorrow if he wants. Like, it's a kid.
Yeah, the more skateboarding is in the limelight, and you know you're gonna get that type of you know mentality for sure.
Yeah,
of like kids and parents for that matter. You know,
skateboarding has never been a coached sport by any means. It's been, I'm gonna go out and skate and be carefree and do what comes natural.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Even in the 80s when the contests were the thing, it wasn't even the parents weren't. You know,
and I'm not like, look, do what you need to do in order to get better in your craft. And if that calls for somebody coaching you through the process, great. But I mean, at the end of the day, I think, especially from me, coming from like my generation, we never had no damn coaches.
Yeah, no, but true, very true. I totally agree with you. But like skateboarding will never ever lose the culture that we have of just growing up and loving it. Like for us specifically, for some kids, I feel sorry for them because they don't have that experience of like, man, growing up watching videos and hanging with your friends and going out skating on your own without your parents. Like,
I think some kids do.
No, totally.
Some kids
some do and some don't for sure.
And that's like, that was the beauty of skateboarding. That's why it got so big.
Yeah,
it's because of that aspect of just
the
being
freedom,
the love, and the creativity, and so.
But I love it. I love I love what you're saying. I love what you're all about. You know what I mean? Like you're here for the. I mean, it's the love of skateboarding.
I mean,
that's why we started,
like,
man. You know.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, just like I said, I'm just so blessed to get to call this a job and whatever. You know, like, never dreamed, like, it's, I guess I dreamt of it, but it's like really surpassed everything that I even thought I wanted as a kid, you know, and like just the places it's taken me in the world and the people I've met, and just like, you know, us as skateboarders, we all know like the camaraderie or whatever you want to call it of just skateboarders, where like that's really all you need to know and about someone, and next thing you know, you're like, you have a couch to crash on in fucking France. You like, you know, and then when the homie's in California, he's crashing on mine too, you know, like, and it just creates like, I don't know. It's just created a life for me that I could have never imagined. And, from the small town I grew up in, you know, it's like that, I don't know. Like it's been more than I could have ever dreamed of. I said,
I think you're speaking for a lot of us when you say that.
Yeah,
because I couldn't. It wasn't even a thought in my mind or obtainable to get sponsored when I was growing up skating. Like it wasn't. The thought never even crossed my mind. It's impossible.
Yeah.
And now look at us, it's, I don't know, man. I can relate.
All right.
I think a lot of us can.
Yes, sir.
1,000%.
Dude. So we're going to do the video part. Oh, we're doing the Olympics this year, right? No, I'm just kidding.
Dude, I'm always rooting for my homies in the Olympics, but
Yeah,
I will be
man.
sitting it out.
Yeah.
Hey,
do you? That's the beauty of skateboarding, right? We could do whatever the hell we
absolutely.
want.
Absolutely.
And when you got Bill Weiss, guys like that behind you, sky's the limit.
Yeah, man. I'm just stoked to be a part of such a rad family, and I've had so many amazing people backing me over the years, man. It's
all it takes is one or two. And
life is so cool, man.
Yeah,
I get to
dude.
kick it here with all you guys and just talk about this shit.
I know.
And like I said, man, thank you guys for just hosting me, having me.
Hell yeah,
Let
dude.
me check the place out and shit, man.
For sure.
I swear, always been a big fan of all of you guys personally, of the show itself, and it's an honor to be here,
Thank
man.
you.
I mean
We
that.
appreciate
I
you,
mean
bro.
that fully,
Really.
bro. This shit is super cool.
Thank
I'm
you,
stoked.
bro.
Yeah,
We're happy to have you here, dude.
Yeah,
Thank you.
bro.
Thank you.
Hell yeah.
Thank you.
It goes the same way though. We're just sitting here having fun.
Yeah.
It's like we're sitting here talking about the best thing that happened in our lives, which is skating.
Yeah, man.
And people like you who we're big fans of too.
Oh, cheers.
All day,
you
bro.
know?
How crazy would that be, though, if we were doing this and someone was telling us we had to get this done? That's like,
Depends how much they're paying us. No, I'm just kidding.
No, but you know what I mean? Like, we haven't had
changes
that.
everything.
We've only done this based off of, like, our own shit.
dude.
Like,
Homies,
homies.
being homies and chatting, and then man, I might as well film these chats.
Yeah.
You know, honestly, it's
That's the
like,
way it happened.
it's
We
super
were just
sick,
kicking
man.
it.
Like,
But we want to, of course, give you some 9 Club stuff to take home with you if you don't mind.
oh,
We
dude,
got a couple
I would
things.
adore that. I'm like I've told you a million times, I'm like quite the hoarder / collector / like all things skateboarding, especially.
We got some good
Like
stuff,
Love it, dude.
yeah, dude,
What size tee?
XL.
XL?
Yeah.
There's some couple things back there, Kelly. Yeah, dude. I'm looking forward to more clay. I want to see
Cheers,
some. Dude, I swear to God, that clip that we opened up with, that
Yeah.
3 flip
Bro.
over the. It just.
I couldn't even imagine trying to do that
I can't.
without bugging out.
It's seriously a different level. The amount of adrenaline you must feel compared to like me skating a manual pad. You know what I mean? Like,
Dude, honestly, it's
That's
all
night and
like
day right there.
it's all like like just what you're comfy with, because like
100%.
at the end of the day, like if you take me to those ledges, like I'm so out of my element and I'm so dog shit at ledges that like I'm like flustered, but a meg ramp is like I know that,
but we're
like,
still enjoying both of them.
yeah, it's like
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
what you know and shit, it's like
100%, bro.
But-
I go to the mega ramps and I watch anybody fly over that thing. I don't care. We were just at Woodward PA like a
Okay.
month ago. Little kids doing
Yeah.
little mega. They're little, the little side of the mega first time.
Yeah.
it's like so much fun watching them too. Clay, listen, bro. Don't
Damn,
get too
boys.
excited, bro.
bro.
Don't get too excited, Clay. We got a lot of stuff.
Sheesh.
I still got to get this gray one.
Which one? The hoodie? I'll give you a discount code
All
for the
right,
website. No, but even the little kids trying the drop, they're so. Remember, Kelly? There was a couple. Even the little girls. There were a couple
Nervous.
little girls at the mega. Were you with us at Woodward?
yeah,
And
I
they were
don't know
trying
if I
to. They were trying to drop it.
Oh,
for
yeah,
the
they
first
were.
time.
Oh, yeah.
and they
That was
fucking
nuts.
did it, and the
Yeah.
excitement, and it's
The
such a
adrenaline
rad,
and shit,
it's
yeah,
such a
like,
rad thing to watch.
Dude, that's what
I'm never
I know.
hopping
We're
on
like
that thing.
you're probably trying to fucking get me on out of here before I chat all day.
No,
but
you're good,
not at
bro.
all.
like that whole thing, like that whole aspect of skateboarding, I've always like adored too. Is just like people being stoked for others, like on in my opinion, based off of like just their talent level. And it's like I've seen skate parks like get louder for a dude doing a slash grind than I have seen an arena get for like a 900.
Yeah.
Like it's the coolest thing to see like someone losing their minds, essentially over something that would be like a basic trick to some, you know, but like knowing that like for that dude, like he's been pumping back and forth all day to just get his trucks up onto the coping and like gets the tiniest scratch grind, and it's like an epic moment for everyone.
Well, we can all feel it,
you know?
right?
Yeah.
We all feel
like,
it.
that's like the coolest shit about skateboarding as like a sport or whatever. And even my pops like trips on that to this day. He's like, man, it's just like you go to these contests, this dude just does a run that for sure smoked you. And you're like, first thing you do is go and give the guy a hug and cheer for him and shit. It's like, yeah, you know, like the homie just crushed it.
Right.
And like,
Skateboarding's different like that. Though.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
that's like the cool, like, I mean, I always love that aspect.
When we were at that one session you're talking about, this girl was trying to drop in on the mega ramp or the mini mega, and she did it, and she kind of got smoked, but we were also stoked for her because she finally she tried to come
just
in,
overcame
and she was totally fine, but she got that like adrenaline of like, oh, I tried, I could do it, I could
That's
do
what
it.
it feels like.
That's just like contagious, huh? You're
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
next thing you know, you're fucking hyped
She
up
hit
too.
the
Like,
she dropped in and then she hit the thing and then she just flew over the thing.
Yeah.
you know? and but it was so stoked and,
So
and I
sick.
felt that.
Yeah.
know? I was like so hyped to see her do that for the first time.
Yeah.
So yeah, man.
So
I
rad.
mean, bro, it's a beautiful thing.
it is indeed. And shout out to skateboarding.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yes, sir. man.
Skateboarding, stand up.
First
yeah.
of all, Clay, dude,
Dude.
thank you so
No,
much
thank
for
you
coming
guys, man,
by,
for real.
kicking it.
It is such a pleasure,
Dude.
man. Such a pleasure.
We just stay hydrated out there. I want you
Dude,
to pour all your rock
so
stars
sick.
in
Yes.
in the 9 Club
Absolutely.
Yeti
Yes, man.
thermos right there. We also got are you a big coffee guy?
Coffee
Tea?
guy.
Coffee?
Yeah,
Listen, put this will fit in
absolutely.
your cup holder. You get then that'll
Dude,
keep your
no
coffee
way.
warm all day.
The gift that keeps on giving out here, jeez.
And this thing right
That's
here,
so
this is the
sick.
Skull Candy Kilo. You put this on your little belt loop and play whatever music you want on that mini mega.
you
you
know,
know what I'm
bumping
saying?
out there.
Yeah, dude. What would you
Uh-huh.
what are you gonna put on here?
Dude.
What kind of music we got?
Man, I was like almost hoping this didn't come up. No, I'm just kidding. I have the funniest like
You got a
music
random
taste.
playlist?
Like, yeah, I'm all over the place.
I love
I'm in a super big like country music kick at the moment. I mean,
country
well,
buff.
for life, you know, I grew up in the South and shit. I was born on that. But I like, yeah, that's like all I've been listening to right now.
Dude,
like,
you know what song I got on repeat right now?
What's that?
Kenny Rogers, The Gambler.
Oh, nice.
Great song.
Yeah. But yeah,
know
I'm like the
when to
most random
hold
shit.
'em.
We're bumping the. I don't know if anybody knows who Leon Bridges is.
Know when to fold 'em. No, I don't know.
Oh, check him out.
I'm gonna
Just
check
like
out
a
Leon.
just a groovy like soul country ish music. But I was
Soul,
bumping
okay.
he just dropped
Okay.
a new album. I was listening to that on the way
check
up
out old
and stuff.
Leon.
Yeah, like
amazing.
I don't know. I like a lot of groovy shit,
What
man.
about this? You like this?
I love that,
Bro,
I don't like that. I love that.
The 9 Club. Look
Yes,
at that 9
sir.
Club hoodie, dude.
Yeah, you
go.
guys, you
And
guys.
a hat. I know you got the Rockstar beanie, but maybe if you throw the homie the hat. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
And all kind of
dude.
matches.
Yes,
kinda-
Yes, sir.
Hey, Clay, man. Listen, again, big fan. Keep doing what you're doing,
Yes,
and
man.
I can't wait to keep continuing on following the journey.
Thank
brother.
you guys, man. For
Yeah,
real. Thank you.
dude.
Can't
Thank
say
you, dude.
thanks enough, bro. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you,
Oh,
man.
yeah.
You guys
Hey,
are fucking
Kreiner.
legends.
Yeah.
Yeah.